George Allen said the future is now. The Winnipeg Jets say the future is later. 4 reasons for Winnipeg optimism, all rookies. Dave Christian from the U.S. Olympic gold medalist in Lake Placid, the Jets' leading scorer. On a very young Winnipeg blue line, Don Spring from the Canadian Olympic team and the University of Alberta Golden Bears. Bo Mantha, son of a longtime minor pro of the same name, played his junior hockey here with the Toronto Marlboros. And a franchise player on defense, on St. Louis Blues, Wayne Babbitt. The Winnipeg Jets visit Toronto to play the Maple Leafs. Good evening, everyone. I'm Dave Hodge. It's been a frustrating season for both of these teams, and we've had recent examples of that frustration. The Jets on Thursday night in Boston had a 6-6 tie in the final minute when Rick Middleton scored to win it for the Bruins. And the Leafs last night in Hartford had a 1-goal lead, less than 2 minutes to play. Blaine Stoughton tied it for the Whalers. Jim Robson is in from Vancouver to call the play-by-play of tonight's game. He'll be joined in the booth by Gary Dornhofer. They're together now. Let's hear their comments.
Thank you, David. Well, there was a lot of interest in Toronto today about this game. I think, Gary Dornhofer, it might have something to do with the last time the Jets were at Maple Leaf Gardens.
Well, we can remember that one, Jim. Of course, the Jet players, they had a heyday out there. They were able to skate all over the ice, and the Leafs not able to make contact. And this is one area of the game that Mike Nicolak hopes will improve, especially for tonight.
Well, Nicolak took over as coach after the last time Winnipeg played here and beat the Leafs 8-2. And now here is Brian McFarland.
On This Week in the NHL, coming up in our first intermission tonight, we'll take one more look at Mike Bossy's 50th goal. We'll have Philadelphia and Buffalo highlights. We'll have a report from Calgary on the Dan Bouchard trade for Jamie Hislop. Now let's go to Dave Hodge.
Well, the news around Maple Leaf Gardens today concerned an old friend of our guest, Don Cherry, who'll be talking with me in the first intermission. And following the game, the news concerning Rene Robert, the Leafs picking him up from the Colorado Rockies for future considerations. Your reaction?
Rene Robert, 40-goal scorer, all-star. I love him. They just made the playoffs.
Don Cherry again in the first intermission with more on Robert, the newest Leaf, who will play tonight. Hockey Night in Canada continues in just a moment.
Introducing a car that combines the brainpower of German engineers, Japanese engineers, North American engineers, engineers from around the world. Introducing a world car, the new Ford Escort. Built in North America with better ideas from around the world, with high mileage ratings, 42 miles per gallon combined, 54 miles per gallon highway. Escort's roomy inside, with 4-wheel independent suspension, front-wheel drive. Ford Escort, built in North America to take on the world.
Hello, hockey fans. I'm Jim Robson with Gary Dornhofer and the Hockey Night in Canada crew at Maple Leaf Gardens as the fans file in on a crisp, clear night to watch the Jets and the Maple Leafs. And they'll be rivals in the realigned NHL in the same division next year, and they're rivals tonight. And there's Rene Robert wearing number 14, a number he's worn many times in his NHL career, and he has 265 National Hockey League goals.
Jim, one of his real assets is his ability on the power play. Normally play the right point. He is good with the puck, he can make the plays, and also when he shoots it, it is low on the ice. Chance for those guys in front to deflect it. So this could be a good move for the Maple Leafs.
He got in this afternoon after coming from the Colorado Rockies, very anxious to step right into the Toronto lineup, and there's Mike Nicolak behind him, and he's going to work him tonight. The officials have lined up at center ice, the starters on the blue line, and here's Old Canada. Now the officials working tonight's game. The man in the middle is referee Bob Myers, 40 years of age, his 11th year as an NHL referee. Leon Stickle in his 11th season. And Paul Flaherty, a 27-year-old linesman in his second year, working with Myers as he gets ready to go to work. Marcus Mattsson, a native of Finland, who had 2 shutouts late last season with the Jets when he had a fine, strong finish. There's his record on this year. And his rival at the other end is Toronto goaltender Yuri Surha, a native of Czechoslovakia, who's really improved his play in recent games, and I'm sure that average will come down if he continues that kind of play, Gary.
Well, that's the name of the game, goaltending, Jim. We've seen a lot of games this year where the scores have been on the high side, and we'll see what happens tonight.
The Leafs in their home white uniforms, trimmed in blue. The Jets in their road blue uniforms in red and white. The puck shot in the Winnipeg zone. Woodward's going after it, bounced in the end boards by Paymont as the Leafs have Martin, 25, battling for the puck as Sittler goes after it. Sittler, 27, is the center between Paymont and Martin, and it's been a very good line for Toronto in recent games. Now the Jets come back. Rookie Dave Christian, number 13, the only number 13 in the league, dumped the puck in and headed to the bench as Winnipeg wants an early line change, as they want to have a different line out there against Sittler at the start of the game. Paymont's pass went off a skate. The puck came loose at center. Doug LeCure slaps the puck and it's knocked down by Sirha, who plays it to the boards. Boria Salming, rink wide for Paymont. Puck knocked away by Trimpers, number 14 for the Jets. Number 18 is Bonus, and number 29, LeCure. That's the forward line for Winnipeg as Barry Legg goes back to the puck, and icing is called on Toronto.
Well, a former line mate of mine, Bill Sutherland, way back in our early days in Philadelphia, and talking to Bill today, he had mentioned the fact that you'd think that a team with only 5 wins, they wouldn't have any enthusiasm out there, but I can't ask more from my players than what they're giving me. Every single day in practice, they're willing to learn, they're working hard, and even in games, the enthusiasm is there. It's just a matter of time, and the people in Winnipeg, we just hope they have patience, and believe me, we will have a winner in Winnipeg.
They've shown great patience in Winnipeg. They're drawing very well, and they understand it's a very young team. Christian, the center, taking the face-off against Bill Derlego of the Leafs, and the puck is poked to center ice. Hickey, Vive, and Derlego, the forward line for Toronto. As Derlego goes after a loose puck, it's steered to the boards. Hickey bumping in with Jeffrey on. The puck still in play as it's put behind the net by Pat Hickey. That's Rick Vive wearing a special collar for an injured neck. Now to Derlego, centering the puck, and it's intercepted. Number 5 for the Jets, Jeffrey on. Now to Babic. This is Lukowicz to Babic. His shot missed the net. Puck controlled by Legg, who's on defense with Babic. Number 44, Big Dave Babic, the first-round draft choice of the Jets. Great junior with Portland. His pass just went off the skate of Lukowicz. Hickey dumping the puck in the Winnipeg zone. That's Vive moving into forecheck, bumping Jeffrey on. Babic goes to the puck. No score, 1:45 gone in the first period. Puck shot back in the Winnipeg zone as the Jets reorganize and the Leafs make a full line change. Dave Christian with the puck. Bruce Boudreau moves to check him. And Anderson gets possession back of his own goal, and Winnipeg make a line change. Anderson trying to come out, lost the puck as he's checked by number 24, Wilson. Loose puck, dug out by Bruce Boudreau. This is Picard. Robert Picard's pass intercepted. A quick shot taken on the chest and stopped on Norm DuPont. Sura came up with his first tough save of the night. From Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, this is Hockey Night in Canada.
On this Canadian destroyer, about 250 men work as a team with some of the most advanced electronic equipment in the world, helping to keep Canada strong. If you've got what it takes, there may be a future for you in Maritime Command, full-time or part-time.
There's no life like it. There's no life like it. No, there's no life like it.
Ask us about you. You'll find us under Recruiting in the Yellow Pages.
The Leafs and the Jets at Maple Leaf Gardens face off in Toronto territory. There's no score. We've played 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Moving in for the face-off for Winnipeg, Ron Wilson against Darryl Sittler. The Leaf captain wins the draw. The pass off the boards for Picard. He's on defense with number 23, Dave Farish, as Sittler moves into the Jet zone. The puck went loose to LeCure, puts it off the boards rather loosely. Farish kept it in for Sittler, looking in front for Paymont, who recovered his stick, and the puck went right past him as he was picking his stick up off the ice. This is Trimper moving in on Farish, who knocked the puck off his stick. Trimper misses the check from Farish. Doug LeCure with the puck from behind the net. To the point. Don Spring shot it towards the Leaf net. It wound up back of Surha. Trimper with the puck from the corner. Centering into an off his skate and it rolls to center ice. 3 minutes gone, first period, no scores. Spring, number 27. LeCure, number 29. Two Leafs converge on him. Spring moving in with the puck. High stick by Picard. A pass in front for Bonus. Number 18, Rick Bonus, just failed to get the goal mouth pass. Now the tempo of the game picks up somewhat. Picard for the Leafs, shooting the puck in. Paymont shot on the short side. Marcus held the short side well and made an easy stop. Puck is blocked. Jets coming out. This is Bonus. Moving in on Duras and Salming. Still Bonus with the puck. And Vidaslav Duras, the Czech defenseman, came across to knock the puck away. Terry Martin for Toronto in on Babic, who bumps him off the puck. Babic, 6'2", 205 pounds. Number 4 is Barry Long, shooting the puck out and took a solid check as he did so as Martin hit him. Salming goes to the puck. Icing called on Winnipeg.
Well, Terry Martin really got away with one there. He had the elbow high and got away with it. There's Mike Nicolak. Again, his biggest concern is in his own zone, not only coming out of his zone, but when a team has pressure. Unfortunately for the Leafs, they really haven't had the practice time to work on some of the things that he would like to accomplish.
Toronto have number 19, Bill Derlego at center ice. 5, number 22 on right wing, and the left winger's Hickey. And here's a look at Martin's elbow you were talking about.
Now,
that's Babic taking out...
that was the takeout. That happened shortly after. Good play by Babic.
Duras takes a shot, and Marcus Mattsson scoops it up and holds on. Mattsson, a native of Finland, played very well late in the season last year for the Jets. Had a couple of shutouts.
Well, even on the first shot there from the point, Marcus came way out to cut down that angle and hold on to it. When a goaltender comes out and just gets directly behind the deflector, when the player does deflect, it's right into his pads, so they try to do that.
Duras from the left point, a shot right on, and Mattsson barely stopped that one. Babic goes to the puck, pinned near the corner. Puck dug out by Christian, knocked off stride by Derlego. Christian gets up to the puck, plays it to the line, but not out. Very long up the middle to center. Slapping it in, wide of the net. Duras, Surha alertly steered it as it came off the end boards. Babic to Wilson, centering the puck, and it's scooped and held, then turned aside. And this is Salming, trying to get some room to skate to Duras. Duras from Czechoslovakia, Salming from Sweden. Both players with a lot of international experience. They've iced the puck. And the play is stopped for a face-off back in Leaf territory. Tonight's game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
We can do it.
Canadian Tire's been in this business for 50 years. We know cars, and our service centers prove it. We have up-to-date equipment, a huge in-store parts department, and highly qualified mechanics. We can handle anything from mufflers to an engine transplant. And our guarantee is good at over 300 Canadian Tire's service centers across Canada.
We can do it. It's for people like you. Canadian Tire.
Play in the Toronto zone from the left point. Spring takes a shot. Surra turned it aside as Turnbull tripped up Jeffrey on in front of the net. And there's Willie Lindstrom at the Winnipeg bench.
Well, talking about Jeffrey on, he has now gone 19 games without a goal, and that's a tough situation for a forward, you know, when he's in a slump like that. Robert's getting his first shift right now, Jim.
Rennie Robert's number 14 for the Leafs. His first shift. Interference is called behind the play in the Toronto zone, and there's Rennie Robert. He's not involved in the penalty, but the Leafs are going to be shorthanded for the first time tonight. This is Hockey Night in Canada from Toronto.
They call it Fort Apache, but there are no cowboys, no Indians, and no cavalry to come to the rescue. Just 3 men who've heard the warning, sensed the danger. Paul Newman, Ed Asner, Ken Wall. Fort Apache, the Bronx. The fuse has been lit.
Starts Friday, February 6th at a selected theater near you. From 20th Century Fox.
Well, just look behind the net. Barry Melrose taking the man out, trying to act as a little screen there to allow Turnbull to move up the ice. So the Jets on the power play, and they got their big unit out there.
Barry Melrose for interference on Jeffrey on. Winnipeg with a man advantage in a scoreless game. Christian from the point. To Babic playing the right point. Took a shot that tipped off a stick. Puck loose in the corner. That's Lindstrom, number 20 for Winnipeg. Winnipeg's power play has produced 37 goals this season. It's 19th in the league in percentage. And Picard sweeps the puck down the ice. Now let's set up the Winnipeg power play. Number 44 is Babbage. Number 13 is Christian. They're playing the points. Number 20, Lindstrom, is on right wing. 24, Wilson, is at center as they start out of their own zone. Trying to pick up the left winger as they start up the ice. It's Bonus, or correction, DuPont. Number 28 is the left winger on the line as Christian is knocked down. Puck is kept in by DuPont, then it's knocked down the ice. Paymont racing after with Babbage. Babbage got to the puck first. Number 25 for the Leafs is Martin with number 99, Paymont, the penalty-killing forwards. No score in the game. Salming and Duras, the Toronto defense. Jets trying to get this power play going with 56 seconds left in the penalty to Melrose. Martin with some room to skate with some good stick handling. Didn't get far in the lead. Jets start back. Lindstrom in on Duras. The pass in front for Wilson. Couldn't get a shot. Ron Wilson played it to the point and it tips down the ice.
Now, that was a perfect play there by Lindstrom to Wilson. Just couldn't control the puck, but that's hitting that open man.
Now there's 32 seconds left in the Toronto penalty. Change in the Winnipeg power play. This is John Markle, just back up from the minor leagues, trying to split the Leaf defense. Lost control of the puck. Duras feeds it neatly to Hickey. Hickey got away from... There's a chance for Hickey, a slap shot. Good stop by Marcus Matson, as Hickey made a fine rush with his team shorthanded, and that's been the best scoring chance of the period. Markle moving in on Picard, a drop pass. Steen took the shot. It was Steen who had trouble checking Hickey a moment ago on that rush as he went right around the young Swede. Now Melrose is out of the penalty box. Leafs back at full strength. Loose puck in the Winnipeg zone. Vive went after, but it's steered away by Lukowicz. Tied up by Salming. Puck is in their feet and the play stops. With the score, Winnipeg nothing, Toronto nothing. This is Hockey Night in Canada.
Great way to work. Good play.
It sure is easy being a hero around our house. I just say I'm bringing dinner, then pick it up at the nearest Kentucky Fried Chicken store. There's one right in our neighborhood. Nothing makes my gang happier than Colonel Sanders' good chicken.
It's nothing like the way you boys and girls making finger licking good.
There's nothing like it. Thank you, Colonel.
Good chicken.
Face off in Winnipeg territory, and the Jets have Steen, number 17 at center, flanked by Markle and Hoyda. The first time this line's been on the ice for Winnipeg as Picard takes a slap shot. Big rebound off of Matson. The puck bouncing around in front. Rocky Saganuk, number 7, going after, but it's cleared out. That's Ferris chasing the puck. He's on defense with Picard, number 4. As the Leafs set up in their own zone. Saganuk, number 7 on right wing. This is Boudreau. Number 10 on the left wing is Anderson. And back come the Jets. Hoyda shooting the puck in. Anderson failed to pick it up off the boards. Long keeping it in from the point. His shot stopped. Puck bounces away from Steen. And Farish takes over for Toronto. No score in the game. Nearing the 8-minute mark of the first period as Saganuk comes to center to Anderson. Would be offside, but the Jets start back. Steen moving in on Picard and Melrose. Steen's pass knocked down by Anderson. Turning at his own line, hands the puck away, but the play goes offside.
By far the biggest goal of the week in the NHL was Mike Bossy's 50th, scored against Quebec last Saturday. We'll take another look at it on This Week in the NHL in the first intermission. We'll have our Player of the Week and our Game of the Week, and we'll have a report from Calgary on the Dan Bouchard trade, as well as Don Cherry. Coming up, first intermission, This Week in the NHL.
No score in the game, play in the Winnipeg zone. LeCure turning with the puck, formerly with Chicago, sliding a pass to Trimper, another former Blackhawk. Coming in on Melrose, formerly played with the Jets. Melrose broke up the play enough for Sedler to get to the puck, but it's kept in by Spring, whose shot just tipped outside the post. Bonus centering the puck. LeCure shoots. He scores. Doug LeCure makes it 1-0 Winnipeg.
Well, the congratulations goes on. Young LeCure, but watch him at the top of your screen, get in front of the net. Everybody's watching the puck. That's the time when it's important that you look around for that loose man. Nobody picked him up. LeCure right through the 5-hole. But again, you see Turnbull, he was watching the play behind the net, and by the time it got to LeCure, it was too late for him to do anything.
Number 18, Rick Bonus, and number 14, Tim Trimper.
You hear Bonus and Trimper getting the assists on the goal at 8:24. A slap shot just wide of the Winnipeg goal as Terry Martin put it off the target. Still in the Jet zone as Spring goes to the puck. Took a check as he got the puck around in the boards for number 6, Barry Lake. Didn't get it out. It's sliding off Sittler. He goes to the corner after it. There's Paymont waiting in the slot. Martin from back of the net, centering the puck for Paymont. There's the backhander, but Matson is able to cover up.
Well, let's have another look at the Winnipeg Jets. Hit the scoreboard first. Puck will go in the left-hand corner. But see LeCure at the top of your screen. Now look at all the time he has. A perfect position, about 15 feet out. Has an easy time of it. He just snaps it home.
LeCure gets his 6th goal of the season. Young hard worker out of Alberta. In fact, an excellent amateur golfer in his home province.
A lot of communication there. Players have to talk to one another and make sure that they cover up.
Winnipeg leading 1-0 nearing the midway mark of the first period. Robert, the new Leaf, going in to dig out the puck, and of course he's played in Toronto before, way back, before his success in Buffalo as part of the French connection. Rennie Robert was a Maple Leaf for a few games here.
And he's the only one without a helmet. Everybody else has the helmets on except Robert.
LeCure's goal came at 8:24 of this first period as Derlego and Christian line up to face off. The puck is still in anybody's skates as it's dug back to the point. A shot deflects, and Matson stopped it. The rebound by Dan Maloney. That's Maloney from back of the net. The shot by Robert hit a skate. Maloney's first shift out there for Toronto does some slashing and whacking along the boards there with Lukowicz. Derlego ran into a check. The elbows start to come up a little bit. Robert keeping it in. The Leafs have Derlego centering Maloney and Robert, and there's a collision. He knew it was coming. And Dan Maloney bounced off young Babbage. Quite a collision.
Leave it to Maloney to get things going.
That's just what he did on that shift. Geoffrion makes a move. Shot deflects wide as Salmon got a piece of him. Sura steered the puck aside. Now the tempo picks up, all because of that aggressive hitting by Maloney. A couple of hard hits and the game just suddenly picks up as in goes Boreas Salming. Spring sprawls and makes a big play on Salming. And that's an example of how young Don Spring has played all year. A rookie defenseman has been very steady for Winnipeg. Jets having trouble getting out. Lukowicz and Salming sticks getting up a little bit. And they'll talk about it. Christian also there. This game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Bjorn Borg, the incredible tennis machine. He blitzed them in Italy 4 times. He stormed them in France 5 times. And he bombed them in England 5 times again. Then in the U.S. he stumbled against the new young Prince John McEnroe. Will Borg avenge himself in Toronto?
I'm coming to Toronto and I'll do it again at the Molson Challenge.
The $500,000 Molson Challenge from February 4th to 8th at the Gardens. Tickets at the box office, Bass outlets, or call 698-BASS and charge it. Will the machine get back on track?
Now, backup goaltender tonight, Pierre Hamel. He's taken the brunt of the work, played in 26 games, but tonight it's Matson.
And Toronto's backup is Jimmy Rutherford, who played last night in a 5-all tie in Hartford. The score is Winnipeg 1, Toronto nothing. 9:42 left in the first period. Wilson dumps the puck in the Leaf zone. Anderson chasing it, turned away from Lindstrom. Puck is being brought out by Farish. Now to Bruce Boudreau, number 11 of the Leafs, just back up from the American League. It's Laurie Boschman's illness. He's out with mononucleosis. Boschman's loss, a big one to the Leafs, a fine young center iceman. Play in the Winnipeg zone is Boudreau controlling the puck. Try to center it for Anderson, but it's steered away. Lindstrom is number 20, feeding the pass out to center ice. Norman Dupont. Stick handling in the Toronto zone. Saganuk came up, knocked the puck off his stick, and Surha has to steer it away from in front of the net. Anderson to Saganuk, intercepted by Spring. To Wilson. To Dupont, couldn't take it off his skate. Back come the Leafs. Boudreau for Saganuk, just failed to get loose at the blue line. Spring was there to break it up again. Momenta, rookie defenseman for the Leafs, or for the Jets rather, but the play is called because Picard was hooked to the ice at center ice, and there's going to be a Winnipeg penalty on the play. Live from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, this is Hockey Night in Canada.
Why did Eva Anderson change her registered retirement savings plan?
I changed to a Bank of Montreal RRSP. It's life insured for no extra cost.
Why did Pat Moncrief change his RRSP?
Competitive interest rates and life insurance equal to the money in my plan. Now that's a bonus.
And why did Andy Hamilton change his RRSP to Bank of Montreal?
For my team and their future.
Change to a life-insured RRSP at Bank of Montreal.
Now watch Wilson right at the center ice area, the hook against Picard, and that's an area between the two blue lines where coaches just don't like players to take penalties. And that's the time when Dan Maloney has a smile on his face on a power play, because you know he's going to be out there leading with 12.
Maloney's number 9. Watch him go to the front of the net on the Leaf power play if they can set up in the attacking zone. But this is Christian for Winnipeg, dragging the puck as Salming moves after him. Christian doing some good work controlling the puck. Still keeps digging for it. Now it's brought in by Sittler. Sittler setting up in the attacking zone on the Leaf power play. Winnipeg leading 1-0 as Turnbull shoots. It tipped off a stick. A backhander by Paymont, stopped by Matson. Wilf Paymont is number 99 with the puck. But off his stick, leg banks it off the boards, and Lukowicz clears it out. Salming, Sittler, Turnbull, Maloney, Paymont, the 5 attackers on the Leaf power play. Puck bouncing to the line and out. 1:14 left in Wilson's penalty for hooking that came at 11:14 of this first period. The Leafs are offside.
Again this year, we'll be bringing you the All-Star Game, this year from Hollywood and Vine, Los Angeles, California, Disneyland. Some of the greatest players in the National Hockey League on display in the All-Star Game, February 10th, Los Angeles, California.
Here the Jets won, the Leafs nothing, 7:53 left in the first period. 1 minute and 5 seconds left in a Winnipeg penalty to Ron Wilson. Dan Maloney along the boards with the puck, trying to get some room to work as Barry Long checks him. Sittler from back of the net. Long goes after him, gets the puck loose. Long gets a spot and clears it out. Some good work by Barry Long.
Good work by Barry Long, able to outmuscle Sittler for the puck and ice it. That's the kind of work that defense need behind that blue line, and Long gave it to them.
Both teams making some changes on the fly, and the Leaf power play. In comes Dan Maloney, a drop pass, Turnbull shoots, and Matson got a stick on that high shot. The loose puck in front of the net, poked to the boards. Scooped out to the line and brought in offside by Salming. LeCure getting the puck out.
There's Dan Maloney, power play specialist. Who would have ever believed it? Usually you'll find him mucking it up in the corners or the tough work along the boards, but very successful on the power play. Seems to get himself in that good position right around that crease area. As we had mentioned, 12 power play goals for the Leafs this year, leads the team, and 18 goals for the year.
He's also wearing the title of assistant coach here in Toronto as a helper for Mike Nikolic with the Toronto Maple Leafs, who defeated Winnipeg 5-4 the last time they met in Winnipeg after an 8-2 Jet victory here in Toronto, as the Leafs go offside again, and they're not getting set up on their power play right now, Gary.
And we look at Doug LeCure, a second-round pick for Blackhawks. The youngster scored his 6th goal of the year, and that's what the Jets are counting on, the young players to develop and mature.
They're a young Winnipeg team. They have 5 victories on the season. Besides that one over the Leafs, they've beaten Chicago, the Rangers, Philadelphia, and Colorado. They beat the Flyers in Winnipeg and the Rangers in Winnipeg. Their only road victory was the one here at Maple Leaf Gardens, and they lead this game 1-0 as you see Wilson come out of the penalty box. Winnipeg's back at full strength. This is Billy Derlego with the puck. Takes the shot, and he got it right on the net. He's a threat to score. Derlego's deflection is stopped by Matson. Derlego from the corner. Lost the puck to Long. To Lukowicz. Tied up along the boards by Melrose. Melrose from back of the net. Trying to come in front. Turnbull from the left point. Put it back of the net. Out of the reach of Vine. Barry Long from back of the Winnipeg goal. Got it to the boards to Lukowicz. He leaves it there for Christian. Dave Christian coming out on the right. Lindstrom coming in with him. They're moving it on Turnbull. A shot. Good stop by Sura. Another shot by Lindstrom, who's been on a hot streak lately, and there's going to be a penalty behind the play. Rick Vive, I believe, is going to get a cross-checking penalty. And now he's being involved in a fight. As Vive was on his way to the penalty box, he got tangled up with Leg, I believe. That's Leg with him as the officials are in between them. It is Leg, as you see the name on the sweater. So they'll probably get penalties out of this. Vive was already going to be assessed
Well,
the initial penalty.
Leg objected to Vive taking a stick at Christian right beside the net there, and he came to his defense and just let Ricky Vive know he can't pull stuff like that. But it'll be interesting what the calls on these penalties will be.
This is Hockey Night in Canada from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
When the going gets rough and the pressure is steady,
Severe weather warning.
the only battery for me is my Ever-Ready. Ever-Ready batteries. They've got power to spare. That's why people who know batteries go steady with Ever-Ready. On a dark, rainy night, the lights got to be right, so we just keep going steady. Me and my Ever-Ready. They've got power to spare.
Vive, 2 minutes cross-checking, 2 minutes roughing. Time 14:01.
Barry Leg and Rick
For
Vive
Winnipeg, Barry
sitting in the
Leg,
penalty
2 minutes
box. And you got the
cross-checking, 2 minutes roughing.
penalties here, but it all started in front of the net. Watch Ricky Vive coming back with Christian, takes him into the net, and in fact the net goes almost off its moorings. Now watch when Vive has assessed the penalty. He'll swing his stick back and actually caught the helmet of Christian, and that's when Leg came in and he got 4 minutes, so it nullified any power play that the Jets would have had.
A little high stick you saw from Vive did not pick up a penalty. He got 2 minutes for the initial cross-check, 2 minutes for roughing with Leg. Leg got 2 minutes for high sticking and 2 minutes for roughing. Darryl Sittler moving in on Barry Long, who steals the puck, and Sittler almost sifted by him. Lukowicz coming in on Salming. There's the shot. Good glove save by Sura. Play in the Toronto zone as the Leafs try and get back, trailing 1-0. The team's at equal strength. Five aside as Paymont comes in with Sittler. They've been playing very well in recent games. Two key Maple Leafs. Paymont, number 99, forechecking, and Sittler picks up the puck. There's his shot. Matson stopped it. The rebound. Paymont tried to jam it. Babbage did a good job taking Paymont off the puck at the side of the net. Babbage with a big play. Babbage now with the puck. In on Salming. I think Babbage just runs over people out there. You like that big kid, Gary?
He's really impressed us tonight. This is only the first time I've watched Winnipeg play this year, so.
Salming shot. Stopped by Matson, who looks sharp in the early going. Here's another chance for Sittler. Try to pass. Got the puck again. He shoots and hit a leg. Sittler has the puck again. Salming shoots. Matson kicked it out. It's still 1-0 Winnipeg. Check at center ice, thrown by Salming as he bounced Wilson around. Juras tying up the puck on the boards. Play stops.
Well, we're starting to get some hitting out here tonight. Juras there and Salming. Even Salming throwing his weight on, but a close call by the Jets. The puck just seems to follow Sittler around on this sequence here. He got it back 3 or 4 times. On the rebound, Wilf Paymont tried to sneak in front and Babbage took him out. But I am impressed with Matson, the way he comes out to challenge. He's taken a couple of goals away from the Leafs, just cutting down that angle, coming out at him.
There's a young fan in the sellout crowd at Maple Leaf Gardens. With 4:32 left in the first period, Winnipeg 1, Toronto 0. McCure scored the goal at 8:24. Race for the puck in the Winnipeg zone. Being controlled by Willie Lindstrom. Another one of the fine Swedes in the National Hockey League. Now a young Mo Mantha who played junior here with the Marlboros in Toronto. The Leafs regained possession. Picard's a pass, a breakaway for Hickey. And Matson made the stop off Pat Hickey in the clear. And he looked very confident doing it. Lindstrom coming in on Turnbull. The shot deflects off Turnbull. Sura steers the puck to the corner. Turnbull plays it up on the boards for Hickey. Derlego back to get the puck. Teams are still playing at 5 aside, with Leg and Vive serving double minors. Turnbull shooting. Matson stopped that one with that butterfly style. Lindstrom to Wilson, who's a fast skater, coming in on Melrose. Looking for help. A change is going on as he flips the puck to Lukowicz. Took a check from Boudreau. Lukowicz leading Winnipeg in goals last year with 35. Now Turnbull to Anderson to Turnbull. And Matson handled that shot easily. Saw it all the way. David Babbage to Dave Christian. He has Long on his right. Christian takes the shot. Sura juggled it, came up with the puck, holds it to stop the play.
Well, there sits Hickey. He was in cold turkey there all alone. Don Spring had lost his stick and went to retrieve it. And the pass up to Hickey. He looks over his shoulder to see if he was in the clear and then tries for that shot. But Matson on that quick right leg just shooting out, making the save.
Matson, 6 feet, 181 pounds, looked bigger than that on that particular stop. Toronto's outshot the Winnipeg Jets 17-7 so far in the first period, but Matson has been outstanding. Anderson moving in on Babbage, who rides him in. Anderson keeps fighting for the puck. Anderson from back of the net. Duras, weak shot, blocked. Long trying to skate out with the puck. Anderson keeps it in. Boudreau shoots, missed the net. Dave Christian with the puck from Warroad, Minnesota. One of the famed Christian family from there is Lukowicz. Backhander hit the outside of the net. 2:28 left in the first period. Winnipeg leading 1-0. Duras waiting for a completion of a line change. Now joined by Salming on the Leaf defense as Salming takes the pass. Bump, but keeps going. Now to Duras. Grabbed at the line. There's going to be a penalty to Bonus for grabbing Duras, and Bonus complains. And Rick's going to have to sit out the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, won't do him any good. Right at the blue line. Watch Bonus just to the right of your screen. He'll grab hold.
Penalty to number 18, Rick
So
Bonus.
Rick Bonus will spend the next couple minutes in the penalty box.
Rick Bonus for holding.
Played 10 games for St. Louis last year and traded to the Jets for Craig Norwich. Now playing on a regular basis.
There's Mike Smith and Bill Sutherland, the associate coaches of the Jets, talking about their penalty killing, and Darryl Sittler, a key guy on the Toronto power play, which has produced 57 goals this year, and in percentages it's the 5th best in the NHL, with the great individual talents of people like Sittler, Paymont, Salming, and their 4th man out on the power play right now is number 9, Dan Maloney, and he leads the team in power play goals. The penalties to Vive and Legg are just about up, but of course Winnipeg is still shorthanded. There you see Barry Legg and now Rick Vive coming back on the ice. LeCure getting the puck and slides it into Leaf territory. Turnbull with the puck now. Winnipeg leads 1-0 as Will Paymont looks for Sittler in front, but plays it back to Salming. To Paymont, looking for Maloney or Sittler in front. Puck went loose and it's tapped outside the line. That's Babbage after the puck. He's on an excellent period. Big Dave Babbage's shot stopped by Sura. Golfed the puck to the corner. Babbage goes after it there. Paymont gets possession, coming out, Sittler just ahead of him. But Babbage coming back breaks up the play. This youngster's had a great first period for the Jets. That's the kind of a player they're building their future on. Legg falls along the board. Sittler gets control of the puck. Salming takes the shot into Leggs in front of the net. Dave Christian with the puck, 1:05 left in the period.
Well, the Jets were very fortunate at that time. They had all the players on the other side of the ice, and Salming was left uncovered.
Sittler moving in over the line to Maloney. Lost control of the puck. Christian clears it out. 49 seconds left in the first period. Winnipeg leading 1-0. Salming. Maloney's going to the front of the net. Turnbull's pass banked into the corner. Now Maloney from back of the goal. Derlego's waiting in front. Paymont with the puck. Took a shot that went through the crease and off the boards. Billy Derlego keeps the puck onside. His pass intercepted by Legg. Lukowicz to the corner after the puck. Just got it out off the stick of New Leaf Rennie Robert. 18 seconds left in the period. Turnbull's hard pass and the play is offside. Vive was in too soon.
You know, that's something that Mike Nicolak had talked before the game, that Rennie Robert, he wants to use him on the point in the power play, and that hasn't materialized up till now.
Robert got those 100 points while a Buffalo Sabre. David Shand, Bill McCreary, not dressed for the Leafs tonight.
Bill McCreary has been sent back to the minors for more seasoning, but Mike figures in a few years he'll be back up again. That's always a discouraging time, when a youngster gets sent back to the minors.
Oh, he'll be back. Big, strong kid with the future and great bloodlines. The His father, of course, played in the National League, as a couple of his uncles.
I guess he can be best remembered for the hit against Wayne Gretzky. Seems like everybody talks about that. That right at the Edmonton blue line, McCreary just stood there and Gretzky cut in the middle.
It's because Gretzky hardly ever gets hit.
That's right. That's only the second time since he's been in the National League that I've seen him get hit.
It's tough to hit that target. 7 seconds left in this period. Winnipeg leading 1-0, and now the Jets are back at full strength. Very good penalty killing by Winnipeg, and now the puck is cleared the length of the ice. And appropriate enough, Matson handled it at the end of the period. He had a strong opening period. The score at the end of the first period: Winnipeg 1, Toronto 0.
Greyhounds in the National Junior game.
All right, I got it. Let's go. This thing must weigh half a ton. That's only your half.
Hey, Dick.
Yeah.
Hey, Tony Bill. Hey, want to borrow my crane?
Give us a hand, will you?
Hey, guys, I got to get these home to Diane, but I'll be right back.
Hey, Tony, come on.
Help
Okay. All right.
without him. Yeah. I got this one.
All right. Off we go. Let me get it.
You got it?
Okay, got it.
Well, this is beautiful. Where'd you get it?
Pretty, huh? Yeah. I got the first game on it.
There you see the lamp I got for it.
All right.
We gonna go in front?
Yeah, he's sitting on it.
Please, lose.
Oh, I got it.
For as long as they've lived on the same street, Dick and the boys have helped each other out and shared some eggs.
The bottom there. It's never gonna make it down there. Don't
worry about it. Hey, guys, why don't we just leave it here till tomorrow? Why don't we leave it here for good?
Wouldn't hurt your game any.
Molson Export keeps on tasting great.
You guys are really slow.
And now, from the Hockey Night in Canada Control Center, this week in the NHL, an inside look at the past week's activity throughout the league. Your hosts, Brian McFarland and Dave Hodge.
Well, thank you, Dick. On This Week in the NHL, let's move right out to Calgary, the home of the Flames, and get a reaction from goalie Dan Bouchard, who was traded this week to Quebec for forward Jamie Hislop. May not be any better in Quebec, but at least he'll be happier there, and Hislop should score 30 goals or more for Calgary. Now let's go to Dave and Don.
Don, with all the great things you had to say about Rene Robert at the top of the show, I wonder why the Rockies dealt him for what we understand is a third-round draft pick.
Well, you must remember, this is the same general manager let Bobby Schmatz go, who's the second leading scorer in Vancouver, because he liked me, and he's made the statement, we're going to get rid of him because he's a cherry guy. Now, here's a guy that's 28 goal scorers, guys like that, it makes you wonder how things happen. But Rene Robert, my brother said I love guys too much, but he is my best friend. I am really cheering for the Leafs now, I'll tell you.
There'll be people who wonder about the Leafs' youth movement that Ron Ellis couldn't fit into, that Rene Robert can.
Well, he's a young 32. He's one of those guys, he looks to be 25, and that's the way he plays. This guy's an all-star. I mean, this guy he's a quality hockey player. And I think Punch made a heck of a trade. Remember, I said this, and I'm a little incensed that he's getting treated this way because he came out there. I kind of made the deal I got him for Van Boxmeer, and he lets him go like that. And I must be an awful person to be letting 28 goal scorers go for third-round draft choices.
Well, should we be feeling sorry for him because presumably he's happy to be here?
No, he's happy. I talked to him before the game. He's happy to get here, and I'm going to tell you, it hasn't come out. He went in last week and demanded to be traded. In the first 9 games, he got 6 goals and was benched on the 10th game. So his days are numbered in Colorado.
Well, Don, if what you tell us is true, your presence is still being felt around the National Hockey League, not only on these telecasts. We'll have Don at the end of the game, time permitting, and we do hope to talk with Rene Robert himself. We'll return with Hockey Night in Canada in just a moment.
Copier companies have been introducing small copiers with a very interesting claim.
It's just as good as a Xerox.
It's just as good as a Xerox. Then one day...
This compact copier is very versatile. It even copies on your own letterhead. It's inexpensive, but best of all...
I know, it's just as good as a Xerox.
It is a Xerox.
The Xerox 2600, the compact copier that really is just as good as a Xerox.
It was by far the most exciting goal scored this season and the most talked about since Bobby Nystrom's overtime clincher against Philadelphia, Game 6 last year in the playoffs. Talking about Mike Bossy's 50th goal, the one that matched the Rockets' record. Here it is one more time.
Ryan Trottier on the right wing boards. Trying to set up Bossy in front, but that was cleared. Right to Trottier to Bossy. Shoots. He scores! Mike Bossy has his 50th goal!
There it is again, a great pass from Trottier. Note the bouncing puck off Bossy's stick. He's able to snare it and get it in. Keep in mind he went the 2 previous games without scoring, and then with all kinds of pressure on him, just a few minutes left to play, and with 1:29 on the clock, he scored number 50 to tie the record set by the Rocket many years ago. When it was all over, Mike had this comment on his assault on the Rockets' record.
It was something special, it really was, to have opposing fans cheer for you when you're on the road. I mean, that was something that I've never experienced before. And, at home, the 2 games that we played at home, it was just, something that doesn't happen very often. And it did happen that time. And, I had a lot of fun doing it, although the pressure was building, but I knew it was only 3 games. I knew I only had to go through something like that for 3 games, so it wasn't that bad.
But you have to do it all over again near the end of the season if you're near 76, and right now you're ahead by 5 goals of Phil Esposito's pace. That's something you worry about later?
Well, exactly. I'm not really thinking of it right now. I don't want to put that kind of pressure on myself or on the team again till it's really necessary.
Mike Bossy's goal against the Quebec Nordiques, his 50th and his 50th game, certainly dominated the headlines of the previous week. But our player of the week, rather quietly, if he ever does anything without fanfare, scored 9 points in 3 games. I speak of Wayne Gretzky of the Edmonton Oilers, our player of the week for the 2nd time this season. In fact, for the 2nd time in the past 3 weeks. We watch him in Wednesday's shocking 9-1 victory over the Montreal Canadiens. Gretzky got 5 points in this game. His favorite spot, behind the net, setting up Jari Kurri for one of 3 goals by the Finnish rookie. Again, Gretzky to Kurri this time from the corner. And Gretzky's lone goal in this game was a real work of art. Good moves here before he lost the puck to Mark Napier, but he got it back. A chance to shoot here, but Gretzky had a better idea. Edmonton 9 and the Canadiens 1. Gretzky 5 points, 3 more last night against the Chicago Blackhawks, including his first game-winning goal of the season. That's a startling statistic, but Gretzky said it doesn't matter who puts them in when we win, it's just important that we do win. He edged out Wayne Babich of the St. Louis Blues for Player of the Week honors, and it was a big week for rookies. Rick Hines of St. Louis and Larry Lazinski of Detroit, a couple of goaltenders, along with Mark Curtin of the Red Wings and Jimmy Fox of Los Angeles. On CBC, you're watching Hockey Night in Canada.
Esso salutes the savers
Esso salutes Terry Spenceley for using a long-life oil that also gives him super premium engine protection. And the Coles on switching to radial tires that save them gasoline. And Alan Sirota for getting a regular engine tune-up to save him gasoline. People like these look to Esso because they know Esso research results in products and services that can help them save. Esso, part of Canada's future for the past 100 years.
Boy, you guys are getting good at that. I mean, you just zip through those logs, nothing to it. I can hardly keep up with you guys.
Yeah, we noticed.
Well, when you do catch up, we'll be waiting at the cabin.
For years now, Fred and the boys have laid in a little wood for winter and put away a little export ale as well.
We must have got 5 quarts today. Hey, what do you mean, we? I knew you'd say that. I knew you'd say that. Come on, I knew you'd say that.
Molson Export Ale keeps on tasting great.
The teams have been named for the NHL All-Star Game a week from Tuesday in Los Angeles, and we'd like to give you a look at the starting 6 for each conference, beginning with the Clarence Campbell Conference, which finds Mike Liut of St. Louis in goal, Dennis Potvin and Rob Ramage of Colorado on defense. And there's not much doubt about the forwards, Brian Trottier centering Bill Barber and Mike Bossy, though there is a controversy beyond that starting team. Wayne Babich of St. Louis, 36-goal scorer, wasn't voted to the second team and was not included when Coach Pat Quinn filled out his squad. Brian, the Wales Conference.
Well, David, first Guy Lafleur said he was a little embarrassed about being named to the club, and maybe Potvin Salming feel much the same way. But there's Don Beaupre in goal for the Wales Conference, only 19 years old, a big thrill for him. Mark Howe is injured. He will not be there. Larry Robinson on defense. Then big things from the big line from the Kings, Dion, Simmer, and Taylor. They round out the Wales Conference first-team All-Stars. Now we go to our game of the week, and this was a game played a few nights ago between the Philadelphia Flyers and the Buffalo Sabres. A rough game at the odd in Buffalo. Wound up in a 4-4 tie. Here's Dave with the highlights.
Sabres got a lead. Rookie right-winger Alan Howarth, who has been playing very well for the Sabres, converted John Van Boxmeer's pass midway through the first period. Howarth didn't get all of the puck, but perhaps it's just as well as that puck slides behind Rick St. Croix. For the rest of the first period and most of the second, the Flyers with a dominant team. A good pass from Ben Wilson to Bill Barber for the All-Star left winger's 33rd goal of the season. And now we're in the second period with Wilson putting the Flyers ahead. Don Edwards didn't get the legs closed quickly enough. Barber's second of the night, 34th of the season, makes it a 3-1 Philadelphia lead. And still in the second period, rookie Tim Kerr floats one past Edwards. It is 4-1 Flyers. The Sabres mounted their comeback in the final minute of that middle period. The goal coming from Rob McClanahan, and it's 4-2. Now in the third period, the Sabres come back with a pair of quick goals. John Van Boxmeer from the point. St. Croix gets a part of it, but not all of it. We'll watch again Van Boxmeer's 12th goal of the season, an offensive threat at the Buffalo blue line. And Richie Dunn, less than a minute later from the slot, makes it 4-4. Sabres have played a lot of ties this year, but that's one the Sabre fans will like because of the comeback. Chicago Blackhawks have been playing well despite last night's loss in Edmonton. Let's get a report from John Wells.
After a quick start, the season turned into a nightmare for the Hawks. There were nights when nothing went right, and when goaltender Tony Esposito crumbled, the Hawks went down with him. It took some time to come out of the tailspin, but they are a confident lot now, with an impressive winning record through their last 10 games. However, Terry Ruskowski admits times were tough for a while.
It really is tough because knowing Chicago fans can be pretty hard on you when you're going bad. And they were real hard on us. And it was a bad situation. You couldn't go any place. And people knowing and say, how come we're listening at the Hawks? And try to explain, but you really couldn't explain because it's a tough situation. And there was no explanation for it. I couldn't find one to tell anybody.
Rookie coach Keith Magnuson does not claim to have all the answers yet, but he does have proven results of late. Obvious proof he's on the right track.
I feel that the coaches have gotten to know the players better, and the players have gotten to know the coaches much better. We're in our first year, and it takes time to find out how each one of you react to situations. And during the losing streak, I think we really got to know each other very well, and we're getting to know each other even better during a winning streak.
When did you notice the change?
I felt in Montreal when we lost 3-2. We could have tied that game very easily. It was about 3 weeks ago on a Saturday night, and I just felt our team played as a unit better than I've seen them play all year long. And we went from there and played Pittsburgh the next night, won that game, and then went on an 8-game winning streak. We lost the game in St. Louis, but came right back and won, and that shows that the team has matured a lot.
The turnaround was we're playing a better defensive game. Our goaltending has been very excellent for us. And I think we're starting to get trust in one another. Guys go in the corner, they know that she's going to take the man, and all you have to do is go pick up the puck. So it's been trust, better defensive game, and I think team unity altogether.
Oh, I enjoy it very much. Of course, the times are tough when you're losing, but I knew there would be peaks and valleys, and right now we're on a peak, and we're going to keep that way for the playoffs.
Well, now let's catch up on tonight's action around the National Hockey League with Jim Robson.
Other action on a busy Saturday night in the National Hockey League. The Jets leading this one on Doug LeCure's goal. Quebec leading the Islanders, and Mark Tardif has scored the goal in that one. The Flame goals by Radicalio and McMillan. Tom Lysiak for the Blackhawks, 2-1 in Calgary. The game in L.A., the Canadiens and the Kings, a later start. Buffalo with a 1-0 lead over Hartford. Danny Gare scoring. Pittsburgh 1, Washington 0. Greg Shepard has scored for the Penguins. A couple of other games, later starts in the NHL. And in this hockey game, it's a 1-0 score in favor of the Winnipeg Jets. LeCure's goal was assisted by Bonus and Tripper at 8:24 of the opening period. And look at the shots, 18-8. Marcus Matson outstanding in goal.
Next week, of course, the Boston Bruins are at Montreal at the Forum. Montreal currently in 7th spot with 60 points. The Bruins in 10th spot with 52. Should be a good battle. And here's our score at Maple Leaf Gardens, just the start of the second period, and I would have to say the Jets were very fortunate. Madsen being the big guy there, stopping 18 shots. Jim?
Leafs in possession of the puck starting the second period. The teams are at full strength. Madsen in goal, handling that long shot. Number 27, Spring, scooping a backhand pass. Anders Skeen for Winnipeg. Number 17, his pass intercepted. John Anderson slap shot. Madsen handled that one. Leaves it for Spring. Banks it on the boards for Lukowicz. Seiganuk moves to him, bumps him off the puck. Banked around on the board. Salming's waiting at the point. The puck doesn't come to him. Still held on the boards. Now Salming winds up with it. Here's his shot. Deflects just wide. Anderson tipping it. A shot by Boudreau just missed the far corner. Geoffrion bumped off the puck as the Leafs put on early pressure here at the start of the second period. Long on the boards to Lukowicz. Didn't get it out. Rocky Seiganuk shot deflects way up and out of play. Rocky Seiganuk. He's been having a few problems lately.
Yes, he has, but you watch him game in and game out, and he still hustles the same way, and it's something that hard work will eventually get you out of that. Mike Nikolak said, look, we're not putting any pressure on Seiganuk to score goals. As long as he can do a job defensively, the goals will take care of itself.
Nikolak patrolling back at the Toronto bench. The Leafs in their home whites. The Jets in their road blue uniforms. Winnipeg leading 1-0. Barry Melrose with the puck. Shooting it in, didn't wait long enough as Paymont was trapped offside. Matson in goal for Winnipeg, Sura in goal for Toronto, and a trainer at work because they have the... What isn't a trainer? It's one of the players lacing up his skate.
You know, as we look at Mike Smith there, we just saw his jacket, some of the interesting drills that he had. He's a real student of the Russian and European system and is trying to instigate that here in Winnipeg.
That puck came off. Matson recovered by Babbage. You didn't see his jacket, you heard his jacket. The puck is in Toronto territory as Sura dumps it to the corner for Turnbull. Took a check on the boards from LeCure. Darryl Sittler looking for Paymont, going for the front of the net. There's the shot. Perfect play, but the shot was a bit wide. You could see that one coming. Paymont looking for help in front. To Sittler. Lost the puck when checked. Melrose to Turnbull. Quick pass to Sittler. Coming in with Paymont. And Martin trailing. Sittler centering the puck. It went off the defenseman's skate. Paymont goes in to get it back in the net for Martin. Try to get it in front. A weak backhander. Matson comes out and gloves the puck. From Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, this is Hockey Night in Canada.
The people who take Dristan for a cold usually say it helps them a lot. There's a good reason. 3 good reasons, in fact. You see, in every tablet, we put 3 cold medicines. Antihistamine for sniffles, decongestant for stuffiness, and there's also ASA for fever and aches. 3 cold medicines in one. 3 kinds of relief. Try Dristan for your next bad cold. It helps a lot.
1-0 Winnipeg leads. Fine goaltending tonight. Sura and Matson. A Sheck and a Finn earning their keep in the National Hockey League as Bill Derlego moves in for the face-off and wins the draw. Picard shot from the point. Blocked as it hit a teammate in front, and it's Vive getting up slowly. Rick Vive limping. He wears that collar because of a pinched nerve, and now he's got another injury to be concerned with. Hit by Picard's shot.
And you have no idea what forwards say about defensemen when they get that puck up around your nose. I mean, it's something that you can't repeat over the air, but for a forward, when he's heading for the net, you like those defensemen to keep that puck down. And Vivey had no chance of getting out of the way. To the ice pack, eh? To the ice pack.
That's right. He's trying to work it off there, walking back at the Leaf bench. Play now in Toronto territory. Rennie Robert going to the puck. The only Maple Leaf without a helmet. Just arrived this afternoon from Colorado, right away into the Toronto lineup. Ferris to Picard. His pass steered into Jet territory. Robert goes to the puck, centering it. Steered away by Lindstrom. Lost the puck to Derlego. Robert to the point. Ferris dropped it back. This is Robert shooting. Kicked out by Matson on a screen shot. Very good save. Willie Lindstrom with the puck. Robert overtook him and knocked him down. And Rennie Robert will get his name in the stats right now because he's going to get a penalty. Tonight's game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Water power. For nearly 100 years, Canadian General Electric has been helping turn this natural resource into electricity, bringing progress to Canadians. Today, CGE is Canada's leader in high-voltage technology, which transmits that power more efficiently than ever before to industries like this giant steel mill, where it's put to work helping provide products and jobs for Canadians. Progress for people from Canadian General Electric.
Well, Rennie Robert had just had a good shot of net, and he was stymied by Matson, and you see the hooking call right at the Maple Leaf blue line. So the Jets on the power play, and this line of Lindstrom, Wilson, and DuPont have scored 11 of the last 16 games the Jets have scored, so they're the big unit.
This is Winnipeg's second power play opportunity of the game. We're not successful in the first one. The score is 1-0 Winnipeg. LeCure's goal at 8:24 of the first period came when the teams were at full strength. Christian fell on the play, and the crowd reacted to that as the puck is in the Winnipeg zone. Dave Christian with the puck back of the net for Babbage, but it went loose to Martin. Paymont's waiting in front of the net. Juris passes the puck in behind the goal, and Matson just bats it past the post in behind the net. DuPont couldn't control the puck. Jets can't get out of their own zone in this power play. Now Wilson will try and get some room to skate, but there's Martin to check it. Babbage making the turn as the puck is brought up from behind the net. And again, the Leafs check well while killing the penalty, and the Jets can't get organized. Now Willie Lindstrom has a chance setting up in the attacking zone. There's Wilson all alone in front. The puck didn't get to him. Wilson from back of the net. Ron Wilson. David Babbage. Getting out in front of the net. Babbage winding up. There's his shot. Just missed with that one. They've got lots on it. Puck is covered up in the mesh to stop the play.
Now there's Rick Vive down the hallway there trying to shake off that shot from the point. Already wearing that neck brace. Walking wounded.
Vive, of course, is from the island. The island. PEI.
Home of Forbes Kennedy. Remember Forbes Kennedy?
Who doesn't? 3:43 played in the second period. The voice and the face of Ian Turnbull.
And the chatter that exists on the bench. Encouragement.
There's a good trivia for you. What Maple Leaf holds the single season's record for points by defensemen? It isn't Dorius Almond, it's Turnbull. Of course, both have picked up a lot of points as Toronto Maple Leafs. And now an offside stops the play. Rennie Robert in the penalty box for another 48 seconds. The Jets' power play right now, number 12 is Lukowicz, number 13 is Christian, number 17 taking the face-off is Anders Steen. 23 on right wing is Markle, John Markle. And 44 is Babbage. And the Leafs try to make a change, but referee Bob Myers won't allow an extra change. Might mention that the Winnipeg Jets, Peter Sullivan and Rick Mulhern are here but not in the lineup as you look at Punch Imlach. upstairs in the press box area. Peter Sullivan and Rick Mulhern took the pregame skate but are not in the lineup, and 3 Jets are injured. Doug Smale, the hard luck player of the year with 2 jaw fractures, Scott Campbell, and a recent injury, Rick Dudley, who injured his hand Thursday in Boston. And there's Boreas Salming, who'll be in the All-Star game in Los Angeles. Dave Christian with the puck. 43 seconds left in this Winnipeg power play. The Jets are leading 1-0. Steen centering the puck, and it's intercepted and scooped out by Derlego. Toronto penalty killers, number 16 Hickey, number 19 Derlego. On defense, number 21 Salming, number 24 Juris. And here come the Jets on their power play. Steen with the puck to Lukowicz. Derlego checking him. Lukowicz put it out in front. The shot blocked by Sira. He's down, and he manages to cover up the puck as Christian shot from the point.
Well, Christian certainly isn't worried about wearing number 13, is he? But good penetration here by the Jets. They throw that puck around. Christian on the slap shot. Men in front. But Sira comes up with a good save.
15 seconds left in Robert's penalty. Yuri Sira with that colorful mask.
You know, Mike Smith, a degree in science and also Russian language, Clarkson College. He is the guy that puts the battle plan together, and then Bill Sutherland handles the duties behind the bench.
Smith is in contact with the headset with Jude Drouin, a veteran National League player who's working as an assistant with the Jets. Barry Long from back of the net, and now Toronto's back at full strength, and the Jets not too dangerous on that power play as Robert's penalty's over. Lukowicz shooting the puck in. Markle racing after it. Couldn't control the puck as Martin stayed right with him to check him and then roughed him up a little bit. Markle and Martin involved in that exchange, and Bob Myers might send them both to the penalty box. Looks like that's the case. This is Hockey Night in Canada from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
It takes calm, unhurried patience to brew Brador, so take the time to appreciate it. Brador from Molson. Take the time.
Now Steen and Melrose will both go to the penalty box for slashing right in front of the net. They exchange pats with the stick, and referee Myers sends them both off.
Martin and Markle were involved back of the net. I thought they were the two that might get the penalties, but in front of the net.
That has a nice ring to it. Markle and Martin?
It's a law firm. Wetaskiwin. Steen and Melrose getting minor penalties for slashing at 4:48 of the second period. It's 1-0 Winnipeg leading. Teams at equal strength, as in goes Wilf Paymont. From behind the net, Paymont still controlling the puck. Leaves it for Farish. Took a shot, handled easily by Marcus Matson, and there's a heavy check by Paymont as he ran very long. Quite a thump in the end boards, and the puck is underneath Barry Long, and looks a little sore getting up here.
Well, Wilf Paymont is a strong player, great upper body strength, and that's something that he does so well, is work in the corners. But before we go any further, Jim, I think I'd like to say hello to Jim Watson, who has just undergone surgery on his back. He's at Wellesley Hospital, and we're really pulling for you, Jim, to get better soon. And he's out for this year, but come back for next season.
Got a shot of Jude Drouin up there in the press box talking to Mike Smith at the Jet bench. Yeah, Jimmy Watson, a great guy out of the beautiful area of Smithers, British Columbia.
Flyers are going to miss him. He really helps make that team go.
Winnipeg leading here 1-0 in possession in their own zone. Barry Legg in back of the net. Matson does some motioning with his arm as the Jets try and come out. Now Legg with the puck. Barry Long, tall, much-traveled defenseman who was part of the Jets' success in the WHA. McCure goes to the puck. It's intercepted. Out comes Darryl Sittler to Paymont. Paymont coming in on Long. There's the shot. Missed the far corner. Sittler to the left point. Puts it to the boards. Being brought up by Legg. Oh, what a hit by Picard as he caught Rick Bowness with his head down. Picard hit Bowness, and he hit him hard. That hurt away up here. 6 minutes gone, second period. Sittler's backhand pass to Paymont. Dropped at the point for Picard, the shot, and Matson got a piece of that one. Lukowicz tapping it down the ice. Not far enough for icing. Picard back to the puck. Picard number 4, Farish number 23, the Leaf defense. Dan Maloney with the puck, joined by Rennie Robert. Onside, says the linesman, as Robert hustles to the puck. But it's deflected back of the net. Nice move by Babbage, who sidestepped Maloney. Maloney looking for someone else to hit. Ran at Christian, but the puck is picked up by Don Spring. Now to Lukowicz. Lukowicz drops it to Babbage. Shot easily stopped by Sura. Lukowicz in back of the net. Puck controlled by Christian. To Babbage. Room to move in. The shot, the rebound, he fired on it. He centered it. The shot, stopped by Sura, off Christian. Good action around the Leaf net. Christian. Spring hustles to the boards, but can't keep it onside. Morris Lukowicz back in his own zone for Dave Babbage, who just had a great chance to put the Jets up by 2. Babbage from back of the net. Hard pass off the boards. Salming chasing the puck. He's on defense with Duras. Salming winding up. Passes to Rocky Saginaw. Here comes Saginaw. He's got a good shot if he can get it away. Centering the puck. Loose at the side of the net. A glove hand pass will stop the play. With the score, Winnipeg 1, Toronto 0. This is Hockey Night in Canada.
Property investment is my kind of RRSP.
Royal Trust has an RRSP just for you. You can go for growth.
My kind of Royal Trust RRSP.
Choose guaranteed security.
My kind of Royal Trust RRSP.
Or innovative plans in the energy field.
Our kind of Royal Trust RRSP.
Royal Trust calls on all the skills of Canada's biggest trust company to design you the very best RRSPs.
Your kind of RRSPs.
Pick up our free book at any branch.
Face off in Winnipeg territory. As you look at the two benches, Nicolak doing a little pacing, Bill Sutherland doing a little thinking.
You know there, Jim, when Saginaw gets that puck and he's going down the boards, that's a good time for one of his wingers or centermen to get himself in that slot, because you know the puck has to come in that area.
Loose puck at the Toronto line as Ian Turnbull rushes to the puck. Perry's with the Blues. Puck banked around on the boards. Comes to the point to Barry Long. His shot deflects wide. Melrose to the puck. Puts it on the boards for Saginaw. Slides it to the line, but not out. Sura controls it for Turnbull. Ian Turnbull in back of his own goal. Trying to get the Leafs out on a quick pass on the left for Boudreau. Bruce Boudreau coming in on Barry Long. Long takes him out. Puck went loose. They keep working forward along the boards in the Winnipeg zone. And it slides to center ice. The Leafs right now have number 10 Anderson, number 11 Boudreau, and number 7 Saginaw as the forward line. Boudreau up from the American League, replacing the injured Laurie Boschman. DuPont drives it around on the right wing boards. Ron Wilson getting away from Melrose. DuPont's on his right, leg on his left, but legs offside.
And also, Jim, I think we should say a special hello to Laurie Boschman, who is out with mononucleosis right now, back home in Brandon, Manitoba. And with mono, it's just a matter of time. You just don't know when he's going to be back, but we're pulling for you, Laurie.
Very fine young hockey player, part of a great line in junior hockey in Brandon. Two great young centers coming out of the Brandon team in recent years to play with the Leafs, Bill Derlego and Laurie Boschman. Derlego on the ice now, number 19, taking this face-off against against Christian, number 13 of the Winnipeg Jets. Farah shooting the puck in. Hickey racing after it, beaten to the puck by Babbage, who's been very steady on the Winnipeg defense. Steen, or rather Geoffrion, with a slap shot. Hit Picard. Geoffrion centering the puck, tipped away from Lukowicz. Vive steering it towards the line. It's still in Toronto territory. Behind Lukowicz, now Derlego turning with the puck. Out there with Hickey and Vive. Picard to Derlego. Passed it to the boards and went after the puck. Taps it for Paymont. It just came off the bench. Hickey just failed to intercept back at the Winnipeg goal. It's 1-0 Jets nearing the midway mark of the second period. Paymont doing some bumping while forechecking. Lukowicz just cleared the puck out. Farish waiting for his mates to get onside, shoots it back to the Winnipeg line. Jeffrey on with the puck. Wearing that number 5, made famous by his father, and Christian picks up the puck and he's called offside.
Coming up in our second intermission tonight, the World Hockey Report. And tonight we go to Europe and a comparison of the fan clubs there with those in North America. We'll also find out whatever happened to Alexander Yakashev, once known as one of the finest left wingers in hockey when he played with the Soviet Nationals. World Hockey Report coming your way, second intermission tonight.
Playing Toronto territory, Sura back of the net controlling the puck. Salming there with him as it scoops to the corner. Sittler trying to dig out the puck. LeCure going towards that loose puck, but it's iced by Toronto.
And that's one area that Sira really has a lot of difficulty, is handling the puck and setting it up for his defenseman. I think a lot of times he tries to do too much with it. You know, make the pass up, but if he can just leave it there for the defense, they can take care of the rest. But both goaltenders, both goaltenders have played exceptionally well tonight. Matson, of course, being the busier of the two.
Salming was right behind the net with Surha, and perhaps a little lack of communication between the two of them there rather than leave the puck for Salming to play. LeCure trying to center the puck. Surha covering it up by the post. Had a little trouble with it, but manages to stop the play with 9:45 left in the second period.
And, you know, it's interesting watching the Jets at practice today, going through those various drills. In fact, they had a mini scrimmage out there that took about 20 minutes. They have to be one of the hardest working teams the day of the game.
Very long from the right point. The shot is stopped. A chance in front, and the puck bounces loose. Paymont coming in on leg. Staying with him, but Paymont got the puck and then just failed to get it across from Martin. Puck chipped off the boards. Trimper going after it. Paymont playing a good game at both ends of the rink, coming back to get the puck. Wilf Paymont slowed up. Puck goes loose in the Winnipeg zone. Tim Trimper banks it around behind the net. Very long with it there. Paymont runs at him, and they bump together. The puck is centered. Loose puck bouncing in front, and Long steers it out of trouble. LeCure is number 29. Slowed up by Duras. Keeps going after the puck. Tripper going to the front of the net. But the shot is blocked. Duras starts back for Toronto. For Saganuk. He's going to be offside, but he leaves the puck with someone who's onside. Darryl Sittler centering it. It's loose in front. Saganuk from the corner. Try to get it to Sittler on the end boards. Spring and Sittler. Now it's kicked loose for Sittler. Kicked by Martin. Babbage rushing out. Big Dave Babbage. And I mean big. Slowed up by Turnbull, who did a good job playing man for man and broke up the play. Saganuk losing the puck. It's rolled out to center ice. Banked off the board by Don Spring. Number 27 on the Winnipeg defense. The Jets are leading 1-0 as Anderson comes in with Boudreau trailing. Anderson's pass back for the left point. Turnbull shot. Deflects high. Matson, I believe, got a piece of that one too. This game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
The drive, Connor, the desire, the pain, Nastasi, the anger, Garolitis, the agony, McEnroe, the ecstasy, for the will, the challenge. The $500,000 Molson Challenge. 8 of the top men's tennis players in the world, including Borg, McEnroe, and Connors. February 4th to 8th at Maple Leaf Gardens. Tickets at the box office, all Bass outlets, or call 698-BASS for ChargeX and MasterCharge.
Face-off in Winnipeg territory with 8:12 left in the second period.
Shots so far, 6 for Toronto, 6 for the Jets.
In the first period, the shots were 18-8 in Toronto's favor. Lukowicz is a great junior in Medicine Hat. Penalty behind the play on Anderson of the Leafs. Anderson's going to get the gate as Lukowicz takes a shot. The rebound stopped by Sura. And a check by Melrose. And now a little extra activity in front of the Toronto goal. There's going to be a Leaf penalty to Anderson behind the play. And then Melrose will body check in front of Sura on that loose puck. Bob Myers is sorting it out now. Live from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, this is Hockey Night in Canada.
We can do
Canadian Tire has the tires you need. Radial tires, snow tires, off-road tires, small tires, truck tires, tractor tires. We made our name selling quality tires at sensible prices, backed by our 5-year road hazard warranty. We can fit just about every kind of car or truck with the right tire at the right price.
We can do it. It's for people like you. Canadian Tire.
Now let's watch Anderson on the trip right at the blue line. And then in front of the net, Melrose started pushing bodies around. Of course, he played with the Jets and likes to remind them and let them know.
Puck went out of play at the Toronto bench.
You usually see that, though, Jim, when a player is traded to another team, whenever they meet again, you play with reckless abandon. Hey, you made a mistake getting rid of me. But there sits Anderson.
Anderson for tripping at 12:07, and Winnipeg have their third power play opportunity of the hockey game. The Jets with a 1-0 lead. On the goal by Doug LeCure at 8:24 of the first period. Number 13 with the puck is Dave Christian. Now Babbage, the other point man on the Winnipeg power play. Playing it in along the board, slowed up by Farish. Puck went loose. Wilson going to it back of the net. Now to the point to Christian. Puts it in front and deflects, and Sura steers it to the corner. Wilson after it there. Bodied along the boards by Farish. Norm Dupont with the puck. Dupont from back of the net. No one at the right point. Now he plays it to Babbage at the line. Here's a shot. Sura stopped it. Dupont turning with the puck. Dupont lets it go. Hit the outside of the post. Christian at the right point. His pass went into the skates of Willie Lindstrom, and the puck slides out.
Well, there's a good example of the Jets on the power play. They cross over with their wings, and a lot of movement, a lot of puck control. This is something that they've been working on all year.
Norman Dupont on this rush, setting up in the Toronto zone and then fell down. And the puck is cleared down the ice.
You have to remember one thing, Jim. The Jets have been in a lot of hockey games. You know, they're not getting beat by 4 or 5 games. Usually it's 1, but when they find out how to win, they're going to be a tough team to contend with.
This week they've had a tie with Colorado, and here's a chance for Wilson. A shot went off of Sura's skate. After that tie, they lost 4-3 in Washington and 7-6 in the last minute in Boston. Babbage winding up, takes the shot and hit a leg as it was blocked by Duras. Babbage tried to center it for Wilson, and it's cleared down the ice by Derlego. 12 seconds left in the Leaf penalty to Anderson. Christian back to get the puck. Robert, number 14 of the Leafs, out there as a penalty killer. Derlego, the other penalty killer up front for Toronto. Puck shot in by Christian. Now the Leafs are back at full strength. Sura put it to the corner. Jeffrey on trying to center it from there. Anderson moving in on Long. The shot stopped by Madsen. The big rebound is neatly cleared by Barry Long. Lukowicz on the left wing. On the right is Anders Steen with him. Lukowicz holds. He centered it, and Steen didn't have his stick extended. Couldn't reach the pass. Now it's opening up, and it hasn't opened up much tonight. Robert, and they're offside as Salming was in too soon.
Well, one thing about the Jets tonight, their defense are doing an excellent job on the rebounds. The Leafs really haven't had a chance to pick up the rebound and get that second and third shot. They get the original shot, and then good work by the likes of Babbage, Legg, Spring, and Long. They've been working hard in their own zone. There's Bill Sutherland.
He played briefly for the Toronto Maple Leafs in his long hockey career. There's a shot of that valuable ducket.
Jim, I watched him once one-on-one against St. Louis. I forget who the player was, but he turned the player inside out. It was going at slow motion. And then Bill Sutherland's comment was, it's not how fast you go, it's what you do when you get there. He was a very heady hockey player when he played. Wasn't blessed with an abundance of speed, but smart.
Toronto have Sittler, Paymont, and Martin up front, play in the Winnipeg zone. Long going after the puck, ran into Terry Martin in a solid collision. LeCure got the puck around on the boards. The Jets have Bonus, LeCure, and Trimper as their forward line. Puck handed away to Melrose, takes a shot. Madsen stopped it as it went high. Leg back of the net, bounced around. Doug LeCure with the puck. He has scored the only goal of the hockey game. He dumps the puck out, icing indicated. Ian Turnbull goes to the puck. Icing is called on Winnipeg.
Hello, I'm John Ferguson. Our club, the Winnipeg Jets, will be joining in the festivities on Monday, February the 16th in one of Windsor's greatest nights as the great city salutes Hockey Night in Canada. It all starts at 7:30 p.m. at the Cleary Auditorium and features the greatest stars in the National Hockey League and the entertainment world. Tickets are $50 each and are tax deductible, as this night is in aid of minor hockey in Essex County. So for your tickets, write to this address.
Wilf Paymont, 22 goals this year. His career high was 41 way back in 76-77 season with the Colorado Rockies.
Nice to see John Ferguson there, but he didn't have a cigar in his mouth. Hardly recognized him. Long chasing the puck for the Jets off the boards for bonus. Didn't get the puck out. Now it deflects out. Controlled by Barry Melrose. Shooting it in the Winnipeg zone. The Jets are leading 1-0. Expected a lot more goals when these two get together, but it's a tight, low-scoring hockey game marked by excellent goaltending by Matson and Sura. Particularly Matson, as the Leafs have outshot the Jets. Melrose turning with the puck. Back pass for Turnbull. Turnbull from back of the net. LeCure picks him up, checking him along the boards. The puck kicked loose. Sittler steers it out to Martin. Paymont's breaking on the right wing, but leg deflects the pass away. Sittler follows up. Darryl Sittler. In on goal. Matson made the stop. No place to put the shot unless it was maybe up top, a little high, but it was right in close. Here's a chance for Paymont. His shot deflects high and over the glass.
No, this Matson, he's impressed us. Next week, the Boston Bruins coach Jerry Cheevers at the Forum in Montreal. Montreal having a few problems behind their own blue line. They have 3 goaltenders. Sevigny had the last 2 starts, and then the last game in Calgary, it was Denny Herron in the net, his first start since December the 20th.
Marcus Matson in behind that mask in the Winnipeg goal. He's very sharp. He had 2 shutouts at last March with the Jets in the NHL. One of them a scoreless tie with the Islanders. A lot of pressure on the goaltenders in that kind of game, as there is in this one. Ron Wilson from back of the goal. Wilson, number 24, out of the Montreal farm system to the Jets. His pass intercepted. The puck shot in by Picard. Don Spring after the puck. The pride of Edson, Alberta. Fine player at the University of Alberta. Doing some work on the end boards and winds up with the puck. He's played very well on their defense. Saganuk keeping it in. Takes a shot. Boudreau just failed to deflect it at the side of the net. Norm DuPont with the puck. Now to Wilson. On his right is Lindstrom. The shot stopped by Sir on the short side. Puck kicked loose. Bruce Boudreau going to the puck, starting back for Toronto. Leaves it for David Farish to bring out. Now to Picard. For Saganuk, too far ahead. Saganuk and Spring racing after the puck. Dug out by Anderson, trying to come in front. The puck is steered away. Icing indicated as Farish goes back to get the puck. Icing called on Winnipeg with 2:45 left in the second period.
Now there's youngster Boudreau taking over for Laurie Boschman. Spent most of the time in the farm club of the Leafs. Only played 10 games so far this year. But excellent shift for this line. Saganuk was in there forechecking Anderson. He came up to pick up the loose puck, and that's the real key. Get 2 men in there. But unfortunately, the Leafs just can't finish off their plays around the net. They're getting some chances, but unable to get the rebound.
Robert has replaced Vive on right wing with Derlego and Hickey. They're on the ice right now. Vive has been injured in this game, being hit by a shot. Maybe that's the problem. Robert's out there in right wing right now. Derlego goes to the puck. His pass went into feet. Long from back of the net, putting it off the boards and cleared outside the line. Pat Hickey plays it back. Vidislav Duras is number 24 for the Leafs. Christian moves to check him. Lukowicz with the puck. He's got a good shot. There it is. Hit the post. It was a good shot, but not quite good enough. He can really snap the puck. In comes Rennie Robert. He lets it go. Missed the net. Salming moving into the puck. Plays it across in front. The shot by Hickey off the leg in front. Loose puck in the Winnipeg zone. Long taking it in front of the net to ease the pressure a little bit, taking time to clear it out. Horace Lukowicz Coming in with Jeffrey on his right. Jeffrey going for the front of the net. Lukowicz turning with the puck. Puts it in front, and Jeffrey tried to steer it to Christian. Salming coming out. Robert's over 2 lines. It's an offside pass.
Well, Lukowicz on a rush down the left side, hit the post. Well, the reason that the hallway is empty is everybody's in their seats watching this hockey game. But in another 1:44, you can bet that there'll be a lot of people. The refreshment stands.
Maple Leaf Gardens, and the players always enjoy playing here and often
Nice
enjoy
work.
practicing.
Nice work, cameraman. Nice work.
1:38 left in the second period. Winnipeg still leading 1-0. Jim Trimper running into a check from Melrose, and the elbows come up a bit. Turnbull with the puck, watched by LeCure, who has scored the only goal of the hockey game at 8:24 of the first period. Here's a quick break for Maloney. Checked off the puck, keeps after it. To Paymon, he shot right on, and Matson stopped it on the short side. This is Babbage. On his left is LeCure. Babbage with LeCure to Trimper. A shot into legs, and on a 3-on-2, they wound up with a bad shot. Trimper trying to get that puck on the boards, and now it's Paymon to Sittler. On his left is Maloney. Sittler trying to split the defense. Puck rolls to Matson. He covers it up, and he's bumped by Paymon. Doesn't like it. Paymon bumped the goaltender as Matson was covering up the puck.
Well, he didn't have a chance of getting out of the way. He was trying to get in there for a rebound. And
well, the gloves are coming off in that skirmish.
It's Maloney.
Oh, yeah. Big Dan is in there, and Bill Sutherland looks very cool about it all. Maloney wants to get involved there for sure. What started it was Paymon cutting through the crease, bumping the goaltender, and then that drew some reaction. And I think Bob Myers is going to assess some penalties, and Mike Nicolak wonders just why here. That's the time left in the second period. Dan Maloney is going to the penalty box.
Well, Matson has played a strong game. I mean, every part of the game, handling the puck, but especially the angles. He has covered up so well, really not given the Leafs everything to shoot at.
That's Rick Bowness of Winnipeg also in the penalty box as you see Sittler trying to go through the defense. But watch Paymont come in and
almost
bump the
had
goal.
it. Actually, he was pushed into the net there by LeCure. And when you could see on the replay that he was trying to get out of the way. So it's Bowness and Maloney, both roughing penalties at 19:06.
So the teams are 5 aside in the last minute of the second period as you look at the big score clock at Maple Leaf Gardens with that 1-0 score. Doug LeCure's goal at 8:24 of the first period. Sittler winning a face-off in the Winnipeg zone, but the play is broken up. Christian moving in with the puck, going in on Salming. They keep digging for the puck, and Sittler gets possession. LeCure watching him, so he drops it off. Salming takes the return pass. Salming with Paymont and Sittler going to the front of the net. Here's Salming in on goal, and LeCure knocked the puck away from him. Crowd yelling for a penalty, but play goes on. And you hear the crowd reaction as they thought Salming was held on the play. Sittler to Turnbull. LeCure just tapped it out neatly to Christian. 18 seconds left in the period as Dave Christian shoots, and Sura handles the shot. Sittler with 10 seconds left in the period. To Turnbull, moving in on Long. The pass for Paymont is missed. LeCure might not have time for a shot. He drives the puck down the ice. A tricky bouncer that Sira handles, and the bell goes to end the second period. The crowd reacting to what they thought was a late possible penalty. So the score at the end of the second period, the Winnipeg Jets won, the Toronto Maple Leafs no score.
That's our point of view. Come on and join us. We're counting on you. Breaking away for the good times.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know. Hi. I was amazed.
Break away
The goal scored by Winnipeg's Doug LeCure at 8:24 of the first period still stands. Jets won, Leafs nothing. Winnipeg outshot Toronto 13-11 in a scoreless second period. The Jets have been outshot, however, through two periods, 29-21. Great goaltending by Marcus Matson. Now we continue with a second edition for this season of the World Hockey Report with George Gross.
Down below is the city of Kapfenberg, the Hamilton of Austria. But this winter, it's known not only for its steel mills, but also because of a hockey player. His name, Alexander Yakushev, former superstar of the Soviet national team.
Dadbren, a roller right in front, they score! Yakushev, Park, and failed to get it. Practice it, scores! Yakushev was standing in front, getting that pattern play right in front of the
We first met Yakushev in 1972 during the memorable Team Canada versus Soviet Union series. It was then that Yakushev's name became a household word everywhere. He was recognized as one of the best left wingers in hockey. Kapfenberg is a tranquil industrial town in Austria, about a 2-hour train ride from Vienna. The town is being compared to Hamilton not only because of its steel mills, but also because of its interesting spots. The new modern arena holds about 7,000 and is jam-packed for every game because of the hockey magic of one man, Alexander Yakushev. I asked how a small town such as Kapfenberg landed a big fish of Yakushev's caliber.
Alexander Yakushev, we know that it is possible he get away from the USSR for 2 or 3 years, and I'm writing to the Federation of the USSR Hockey that we will get him to Austria with his family and his daughter. There were many problems to his daughter because he go to school the first year, and it was not possible to come with his family to Austria. So we finished the contract in 1980, March of 1980, for 2 years.
However, in the end, his wife and one daughter were permitted to join him in Kapfenberg for a short visit. His other child stayed behind in Moscow, which is not unusual. Alexander, how do you like playing in Austria?
Yes, I like Kapfenberg.
You like Kapfenberg. How about Austrian hockey? Das versteht er wahrscheinlich nicht. Wie gefällt es ihm in österreichischen Hockey?
Как тебе нравится в Австрии австрийский хоккей? Ну, я австрийский хоккей не видел 5 лет перед тем, как сюда приехать. Последний раз...
I haven't seen Austrian hockey in 5 years. They play better than the last time at the 1976 Olympics in Innsbruck.
команды стали намного сильнее.
The reasons for the improvement are the many legionnaires from various countries.
Советские легионеры.
But he is not alone in this business. Mercenaries come from all over.
Outpost in the urban wilderness. Paul Newman, Ed Asner, Ken Wall, three men fighting back on the new frontier. Fort Apache, the Bronx. The fuse has been lit.
Starts Friday, February 6th at a selected theater near you. From 20th Century Fox.
This is the Schick Ultrex, the ultimate razor.
Does it have a pivoting head?
Sure does. This Ultrex pivoting head keeps the twin blades at just the right cutting angle.
I bet the twin blades clog up.
No way, because only Ultrex has this push-button cleaner to push soap and stubble out from between the blades.
So the Ultrex blades stay clear and clean for close, smooth shaves like never before.
Right. That's why we call Schick Ultrex the ultimate razor.
North American hockey fans would find European arenas fascinating to say the least. They would certainly find them much noisier than the ones they are accustomed to. Fan clubs, whistles, horns, cheerleading is a way of life in European hockey.
Our fans are fantastic.
Well, that's what I mean.
They follow us all over the place, and they really get into it. I mean, to them, this is their life. So they're following us all over the place with private trains and everything else. So it's exciting. They always ask me about what's it like in America with fans. I say, well, it's kind of hard to describe. We don't carry flags and everything, but we enjoy the game. But here, they just they fight for it. You know what I mean?
In Italy, it's no different from other places in Europe. In Germany, the fans travel with the team bus, wear team shirts, carry team flags, chant, sing, cheer, and whistle. It's hockey tradition, the European way.
It's a little different, shall we say, than playing in Toronto or Montreal or Vancouver or other American cities. These people are very emotional, and of course, as I think the North Americans are becoming aware, they whistle instead of booing, and sometimes you get about 8,000 or 10,000 of them whistling, and it becomes rather shrieking to the ears. And it's they're very excitable people, and they look forward to these games, and they all carry banners and flags, and quite emotional, and it is exciting, especially if there's a derby going on, because there's tension all over the place. Here, the referees really please the crowds, and they whistle and they call the penalties, and it's exciting.
No matter where you travel, no matter what postcards you buy or what language you speak, the fans show the same enthusiasm for hockey. They adopted the exuberance of soccer fans and therefore make European hockey so different, so much fun. In fact, rumor has it, Harold Bald is on a scouting trip, hoping to sign enthusiastic fans.
Next, we'll return from the other side of the Atlantic back home to a sport that is not hockey.
World-famous restaurant, one with a reputation for serving good, honest food. They start with ingredients such as 100% pure Canadian beef, delicate fish fillets, dairy butter, and fresh eggs. Good, honest, nutritious food served piping hot and delicious, or icy cold and refreshing. That's how McDonald's became a world-famous restaurant. By serving nothing but goodness, nothing but good taste.
Make new car financing easier. Right now, for a limited time only, qualifying buyers can get 13.5% financing at participating Ford and Mercury dealers on these new fuel-efficient 1981s. Thunderbird, Granada, Mustang, Cougar XR7, Capri, and Cougar. For full details on how to take the pressure out of your new car financing, see your participating Ford and Mercury dealers today.
Not only Steve Podborski is vying with hockey for the winter sports headlines, Canada's ski jumping team has also made news, soon to be covered on CBC's Sports Weekend.
The 1981 Molson's World Cup of ski jumping comes to this hill, Big Thunder, just out.
Marcus Mattsson ought to know something about ski jumping, being for Finland, but he knows more about tending goal on a hockey rink, as he is showing tonight. 29 shots, 29 saves by the Winnipeg goaltender, but the Jets lead as a slim one, 1-0 after 2 periods. Hockey Night in Canada continues in just a moment.
In 1882, Canadian General Electric took hold of this bright idea, and today, CGE is the leader in safe, dependable, energy-saving lighting for hospitals and stadiums, offices and homes, for roads and cars, planes and runways. Today, CGE's Weathertron heat pump may actually reduce fuel costs by tapping the sun's energy from cold winter air to heat your home in winter, reversing the action in summer to cool. Now, if you happen to be putting up a building, CGE makes the largest range of electrical products for the construction industry and has the people with the know-how to help you build it better. On some CGE products, a life could depend, like this mobile radio system that professionals know they can rely on. So can you, no matter what business you're in. Progress for people from Canadian General Electric.
At Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, we go to the third period with that score. The only goal scored by Doug LeCure from Bonus and Trimper at 8:24 of the first period. The shots in the second period, 13-11 in favor of the Jets, so 2 period totals are 29-21. Toronto's outshot Winnipeg, and there's a youngster with that usher's hat. And there's some happy people in the stands, but they'll be happier if the Leafs can get on the scoreboard. As you see by that little sign, and happy birthday, whoever it is.
Whoever, yes.
Well, in this hockey game, the Leafs haven't been able to score, and that's been a key factor, Gary.
Well, it's been a close checking affair. Of course, Mike Nicoluk, that's what type of game he wanted. He's getting that, but unfortunately, he hasn't got anything on the scoreboard.
There have been 22 shutouts so far in the National Hockey League this season. Not too many for the number of games played. The two goaltenders involved in this game have not had a shutout yet this year. Matson's working on one now. And the pressure mounts in the third period as Darryl Sittler takes the shot. Matson handled the puck, scoops it to the corner. Dave Christian banked it around on the boards. Martin going in against Spring. Lukowicz goes in to help out. Salming got the loose puck. Went off his stick. He recovers again, but it slides outside the line. 24 is Duras. In goes Sittler. On his right is Martin. The Sittler shot deflects. Puck is scooped aside by Matson. Spring and Sittler. Martin digging out the puck back of the Winnipeg goal. Try to get it to the point for Salming. His pass intercepted by Barry Long. To Dave Christian, trying to get behind Duras. Christian coming in on goal. Duras tied him up, and the puck is steered aside by Surha in goal for Toronto. Salming back at center. Setting up inside the blue line. Babbage goes to the puck. Missed it. It's banked around into the corner. Christian starting out for Winnipeg. His pass to Lindstrom. Lindstrom's shot knocked down by the quick glove hand of Surha. Good fast tempo to the start of the third period as Boudreau's rink-wide pass is intercepted by Big Dave Babbage. Youngster from Edmonton picking his way out. To Lindstrom. Checked at the Toronto line by Melrose, who pushes him around. Puck went back of the net to Turnbull, having trouble controlling it back of his own goal as DuPont poked it loose. Wilson and DuPont of Winnipeg doing the work on the end boards, but the Leafs get possession. And it's steered outside the line. Willie Lindstrom plays it back to Babbage. Babbage from center ice, dumping it in. And it's deflected into the crowd by goaltender Yuri Surha. From Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, Hockey Night in Canada.
Canada, land of color, land of change, land of challenge. One of the challenges of this great country is the challenge of time and distance. Goods or equipment are often required urgently, thousands of miles from the point of production. Reimer Express meets the challenge of getting those goods to where they're required fast in all kinds of weather. That's one reason why so many of Canada's industries look to us for reliable truck transportation. We've got what it takes to take what you've got.
Well, there's Don Cherry right now getting some advice on Coach's Corner. A little youngster, Maple Leaf puck.
Special night, Saturday night at Maple Leaf Gardens. The Jets won. The Leafs no score early in the third period. We've reached the 2-minute mark of the third period. Picard's hard pass bouncing off the boards. The linesmen wave it off as play continues. Marcus Matson controlling the puck in his own zone. Spring scoops it off the boards, and Picard has the puck at center. Ferrish couldn't control the pass, then shoots the puck in. Spring picks it up. It's knocked away from him by Derlego. Looking for Hickey in front. Pass hit long. Derlego with the puck. His pass blocked by Markle, number 23 of the Jets. Hickey tried to center it. Derlego from back of the net. Spring took him off the puck. They cover it up on the end boards. And the play is stopped. A little pushing and shoving at the whistle.
We look at defenseman Barry Long, sold by Detroit to the Winnipeg Jets. Spent 6 years in the World Hockey League with Winnipeg, Edmonton, 2 years in LA, 1 year in Detroit. I mean, he's been around, but he's doing a heck of a job for the Jets now.
The Moose Jaw Canucks mentioned there with the reference to his last amateur club where he played his junior. Robert's shot went wide. Nice to see those junior clubs getting recognition here tonight.
That's where it all starts.
That's right. Where did you play your junior?
Niagara Falls.
That's when they had the sponsorship, I guess.
That's
they were
right.
a Bruins farm team at that time. Or connected with the Boston organization before the drafting. The score, 1-0 Winnipeg. John Markle with the puck. This is Anders Steen with Lukowicz in front, and Steen was checked trying to pass. And Picard cleared the puck out. That looked like a dangerous opportunity.
Robert did a good job coming back and picking up that check and breaking up the play.
Markle banking the puck off the boards. It's dug out. Hickey couldn't get loose. This is René Robert, the newest Leaf. Try to get it to Derlego, and it's intercepted. Boris Lukowicz for Winnipeg. With Steen, number 17, with him. Picard ran at Lukowicz as the puck slides to Surha. Boreas Salming starting a rush for Toronto. Slapping it off the boards. Wound up back of the net. Robert tried to center it from there. Number 18 is Rick Bowness for Winnipeg. Out there with LeCure and number 14, Tim Trippers, the left winger on the line. Surha controlling the puck, scooping it off the glass. Martin trying to pick it up. The Leafs have Sittler, Martin, and Paymont. And the referee Myers is knocked down, glares at Rick Bowness, and said, hit the guys in the white uniform, not the ones in the striped shirts.
I don't think Bowness dares crack a smile, but normally when an official goes down, there's a little smirk on your face. Right on the seat of your pants, Bob.
Mike Nikolic, the coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Since he has taken over, he's won 4, lost 3, tied 4. The Leafs haven't won in their last 3 starts. Martin racing into the Winnipeg zone from the end boards. Taken out by leg. The puck centered for Sittler, deflects around on the boards. Juris hustles in after it, but it's chipped off the boards out to center ice. Sittler, who is now nearing the all-time Leaf goal-scoring mark held by Dave Keon. He's within 7 goals of that total. Babbage knocked down. Probably the first time tonight Babbage has been off his feet. Bounced on the boards. Sittler picking up the puck. Terry Martin coming in with Paymont. Puck went loose. Martin shoots. Matson stopped it. And it's cleared back to the point. Salming shoots and tipped off Trimper. LeCure gets the puck. Clearing it to center ice. Matson very sharp on that close-in chance. Sittler with Paymont in front. Loose puck. Steered off of Long around on the boards, and Paymont had that good chance. Trimper coming in on Salming. Trimper shoots and he missed the net. And he had Jeffrey on with him, but he didn't see him going for the front of the net. Oh, Trimper is really hit by Salming, and they're both down on the ice. The collision between Trimper and Salming, and Trimper's the first to get up. Salming is still down.
Well, that was quite a collision just inside the Maple Leaf blue line, and just before that, Trimper had made a good move one-on-one against Salming. There's the collision. And Salming is still on the ice. Looked like a knee there, Jim, that the way Salming went down and got hit. Seems to be all right.
Tonight's game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Well, Jim, the Jets have certainly been in this position many times before, going into third period with a lead or tie, and then somehow always find a way to blow the game in that third period. So I'm sure that they're want to keep playing the same way they're doing tonight, because they're doing an excellent job checking.
Spring shoots the puck into Toronto territory. The Jets are leading 1-0. Doug LeCure scored the goal at 8:24 the first period. This is Turnbull rushing the puck. Now to Boudreau. Cutting in on goal as Long checks him. The puck is centered. Turnbull backhands. Johnson got a piece of it. Jeffrey on clears it out. Melrose chasing the puck. Lukowicz goes into forecheck. Took him off his feet. Now Anderson for the Leafs. John Anderson from back of the net. Forced back by Jeffrey on. Danny Jeffrey on doing the forechecking. Number 5 of the Jets. Anderson. Jeffrey on knocked him off stride, but Turnbull got the puck. Checked neatly by Dave Christian. Good forechecking by Winnipeg. And Long winds up with the puck at center ice. Hard pass deflects through to Sirha. Leaves it for Rocky Saganek. Willie Lindstrom moves to check him. Battle for the puck on the boards in Toronto territory, and it's underneath the players along the ice as the play is stopped. This is Hockey Night in Canada from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Get down to the stretch, the Jets will not make the playoffs this year, but they certainly could determine the final outcome in the last couple of weeks, because they're a loose club out there and play with reckless abandon.
Where did he play his junior hockey?
Flin Flon.
Rennie Robert, who's replaced Rick Vive on this line, goes to Hickey in the corner. Hickey flipped the puck high. Vive hasn't played in this third period. Robert's taken his spot with Derlego and Hickey. Vive appeared to injured his leg when hit by Picard's shot in the second period. I don't think he's been on the ice since. Winnipeg leads 1-0 as Lindstrom lost the puck to DeLego. It's recovered by Legg. Now to Babbage. It's brought in over the line by Norm DuPont. DuPont coming in on goal. Couldn't get a shot. Ferris steers it to DeLego. Coming in on long. DeLego shoots. And Matson coolly picks it off. And the Finn steers it around on the boards. Still in play in the Winnipeg zone. Ferris scoops it across for DeLego. DeLego checked by Long. The puck slides to the line. A shot. Just missed the target. Ferris put it high. DeLego tried to center it. It went up into the air and it's knocked down and scooped out by Ron Wilson. Ferris plays it to Picard at his own line. Winnipeg 1, Toronto 0, 12.5 minutes left. Ferris at center, dumping it in. It went off of Babbich's arm. Matson puts it to Babbage in the boards. Babbage lost it to Sittler. It's in front of the net. Long scoops it. Trimper coming out for Winnipeg. Tim Trimper stick handling it on the defense. Salming steered the puck away. Salming and Trimper involved in that recent collision are back on. Paymont coming in. Maloney going to the front of the net. The puck is held by Marcus Matson. With the score, Winnipeg 1, Toronto 0. This is Hockey Night in Canada.
This 6-hour VHS home video recorder is called RegiVision.
Oh, that's Panasonic Omnivision.
And RegiVision has RegiFlex.
That's Omniflex, Reggie. It plays in slow motion, high speed, or freeze frame.
RegiVision also has RegiSearch.
That's OmniSearch. It makes it easy to find the scene you want.
So get RegiVision with RegiFlex and RegiSearch.
That's Omnivision with Omniflex and OmniSearch.
From Panasonic.
Right.
Lady in the stands.
I think she was winking at you there, Jim.
Oh, I hope so. Shot by Paymont is blocked in front by Long. Don Spring working on the boards for Winnipeg. Lost the puck to Paymont. Well, Paymont on his backhand. Spring stays after him. The puck is still loose. Paymont's weak shot is blocked. LeCure steers the puck to Trimper. Moving it on Salming. Trimper dumped it in. Now Bonus goes into forecheck with Paymont. They bump along the boards. Bonus goes down. Gets up to battle for the puck. Paymont trying to dig it out on the boards, and now it's covered up long enough to stop the play.
Well, it's been that kind of game where a lot of close checking as we look at Paymont. He's had a few good chances tonight, but both teams have the aspect of not allowing any 3-on-2s and 2-on-1s tonight. It's only happened about 3 times, and no real good shots resulted from that. So they're playing very disciplined hockey, both teams.
Look at Wilf Paymont, or the Paymont clan from Earlton, Ontario. And that's a big group. Sittler, right wing pass. This is Paymont. Shot is kicked out. Wilf Paymont with that great chance. LeCure's 2-on-1 with Rick Bonus. Juris, the defenseman, back. LeCure shoots. Sura made the stop. Back from the Maple Leafs. Paymont in on Babbage. Paymont just failed to get through the defense. Legg took him on the boards. Doug LeCure with the puck. Slides it for Bonus. Couldn't pick up the pass. 11 minutes left in the game. Turnbull moving in. He shoots. And Matson picked it off. Holds the puck to stop the play.
Now that Matson has certainly showed us something tonight. He's making everything look easy. Now we have a couple of TV people. To your left, assistant head on TV, CBC Sports, Bill Sheehan, and Ron Devion, head of CBC TV Sports. Enjoying this hockey game? Show people, eh?
You got to straighten your tie. There's Mike Nicolak pacing back at the Toronto bench. The Leafs have lost to Detroit and the Islanders on home ice and tied in Hartford last night in their games this week. Morris Lukowicz with the puck out there with number 13, Christian. Number 5, Jeffrey On's their right winger. Christian, there's Lukowicz in front. Couldn't get the shot. Anderson did a good job bumping him off the puck. It's centered again. Turnbull intercepts. Turnbull. Saganek, number 7 on his left. Anderson, number 10 on his right. Turnbull, shot. Just tipped off Matson. Quite a collision between Babbage and Turnbull. Turnbull paid the price for taking that shot. Puck is dug out. Anderson moving it on goal. He's turned around. The puck is loose and it's scooped out. 10:20 left in the hockey game. Winnipeg leading 1-0. Rocky Saganek going to the puck on the boards. Checked off the puck. It's kept in by Anderson. Swept away. Intercepted by Boudreau. Saganek shoots and deflects wide. Picard's shot went off the target. Lukowicz goes to the puck. Saganek moves to Lukowicz. Joined by Babbage. Puck still in play. Still in play near the boards. Lukowicz then decides to clear it out, but icing is waved off. Picard goes back to get the puck for Toronto with 9:42 left. Robert Picard's pass deflects down the ice. Icing waved off again. Play will continue. The spring goes to the puck, turned away from Robert. Now to Ron Wilson. Wilson, a quick skater. Misses a check, but the play goes offside as Picard just missed it. This game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Come on, Fergie, pump him up there.
Why did Eva Anderson change her registered retirement savings plan?
I changed to a Bank of Montreal RRSP. It's life insured for no extra cost.
Why did Pat Moncrief change his RRSP?
Competitive interest rates and life insurance equal to the money in my plan. Now that's a bonus.
And why did Andy Hamilton change his RRSP to Bank of Montreal?
For my team and their future.
Change to a life-insured RRSP at Bank of Montreal.
Well, the sign says the Leafs will hijack the Jets, but they haven't been able to do so yet.
I was going to say, this isn't the case thus far. Still plenty of time left.
9 minutes, 28 seconds remaining. Winnipeg leading 1-0. Matson, outstanding in goal for Winnipeg. Tapping the puck aside for Don Spring. Very steady on their defense with another rookie. Dave Babbage, also a standout. Mo Mantla, a third rookie on the Jet defense, has only seen a couple of shifts in the early stages of the game. Puck is scooped out by DuPont, picked up by Ron Wilson, checked by Hickey, and the Leafs take over. Picard going to the puck off the boards. Lost possession. Wilson moving in, slowed up. Now this is DuPont. Norm DuPont holds, he shoots, he scores! Norman DuPont makes it 2-0 Winnipeg.
Now what a play at the blue line. A collision, and Picard just couldn't. He was actually harassed from behind there. But DuPont just waits for Erie Sirra to fall down and then just tucks it upstairs. That's 19 goals for DuPont this year coming from the Montreal organization.
Willie Lindstrom is given credit for an assist on the goal at 11:08. A great individual effort by DuPont makes it 2-0 Winnipeg. Here come the Jets again. Number 20 Lindstrom is on the right as DuPont shoots the puck in. DuPont picked up right at the start of the season by John Ferguson and the Jets, and he's given them 19 goals. Didn't get much chance to play with the Montreal Canadiens. Getting a lot of ice time with the Jets, and he's producing goals. He was a great scorer in junior. The Montreal Junior Canadiens.
Well, that's a lot of confidence when you can hang on to that puck and just at the right moment stick it upstairs.
What a sharp angle, too. He snapped it up there for the second Winnipeg goal. Babbage cleared the puck high. Back into Toronto territory. Duras chasing the puck. Now there's 8 minutes left in the game. Winnipeg with a 2-0 lead. Babbage try to get it to Trimper. Terry Martin slides it back. Duras shouted by LeCure. LeCure and DuPont have scored the goals.
You notice everybody's getting so far ahead of the play that defense don't have anybody to throw it to. There'd be an offside pass.
Wilf Paymont controlling the puck, centering it. It's intercepted. LeCure banks it off the boards and out. Salming chasing the puck.
You have to stay in that zone and give your defenseman a chance to give it to a forward. They're up waiting around the red line for that fast break, and it doesn't work that way.
Martin's pass deflects back to Duras, chased by Christian. Duras covered the puck to Darryl Sittler, backhands it into the Winnipeg zone. Dave Babbage goes to the puck. Paymont watching him as Babbage sets up behind Matson. 7:14 left. Winnipeg 2, Toronto no score. Babbage putting it down the ice, and this will be an icing call as Turnbull's going back to the puck. Icing is called on Winnipeg. Live from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, this is Hockey Night in Canada.
When the law firm of Hannigan, Brannigan, Milligan and Malone decided to part company, everything proceeded politely.
Excuse me, Mr. Brannigan. Oh, certainly, Mr. Hannigan.
Until it came to the question of who should have the Xerox copy.
And where would you be going with that, sir?
Chapter 3, subparagraph 4, all of the...
So they did the only thing they could do. They saw their lawyers. After all, having a Xerox copier is one thing. Parting with it is quite another.
General manager of the Winnipeg Jets, John Ferguson, and was he a tough son of a gun when he played. Montreal Canadiens.
He's in the British Columbia Sports Hall of Fame for his exploits in hockey and box lacrosse. He was great at that game too, John Ferguson.
Well, he had said it does, it takes a little longer than a year and a half to get a team turned around, but we're going in the right direction. We'll have a contender before too long.
6:45 left in the game. Boudreau racing after the puck, but it's steered out to center ice. Ian Turnbull backing up with the puck, shouted by Jeffrey on. Anderson trying to get some room now to Turnbull. Turnbull coming in on long, and a backhander just went wide as Spring was checking. Puck is still loose in the Winnipeg zone. A shot by Turnbull went off the leg just wide. Kept in by Melrose. Barry Long banked the puck around on the boards. Turnbull keeping it in. Anderson's pass. Woodrow tried to get it back to Anderson, and Lukowicz just tapped the puck out. 6:10 left. Winnipeg 2, Toronto no scores. Matson handles a long, weak shot, then covers up the puck.
Next week, February 7th, we're going to have the greatest rivalry of all time. Boston Bruins and Montreal Canadiens. And even though I won't be there, it's going to be a great game.
Well, Don, I won't be there either. Oh, boy.
There's Mike Mikulak, the coach of the Leafs, with a 2-goal deficit staring at him as Matson makes a good save on a face-off. Babbage feeding the puck outside the line to Willie Lindstrom. Lindstrom, a good move to Wilson, and the play is broken up. Derlego with the puck. That's Hickey ahead of him. Derlego stick handling into the Jet zone. Back to Robert. Puck picked up by Picard. For Hickey. Robert and Derlego are in front. Shot from the point. Blocked. Ooh, that stung. As the Winnipeg player who blocked the shot is Norman DuPont, and he's down on the ice. DuPont hurt blocking the shot.
Well, good play by DuPont there, because there was quite a scramble in front of the net for position. I think we saw 3 or 4 players, and that's a play that you just have to time perfectly, or you have to visit the dentist that night.
You could hit him in the knee as he's being tended on the ice. Norman DuPont, who scored a big goal in this third period. Hey, at this time, I'd like to pass along a special hello to all hospital patients and shut-ins, those who can't get out to hockey games. Hope you're enjoying this coast-to-coast telecast on Hockey Night in Canada. I think DuPont's going to be all right.
I think so, but he has a goal tonight, the second for the Jets. There you see Picard interfered with at the blue line. This allowed DuPont to cut in there, but there's poise and confidence. That young fellow just waits and puts it right up in the top corner. Good individual effort by Norman DuPont.
5.5 minutes left in the game. Winnipeg 2, Toronto no score. Farish from back of the net. Bounced by Lindstrom. Hickey coming out. Derlego, number 19, with him. Hickey shooting the puck in. Robert racing after it. Babbage steered it to the corner. Ron Wilson gets the puck there. Robert checking him. Derlego joins them in the corner. Puck finally bounces loose to Wilson. Trying to get some room along the boards. Just slides the puck out. We'll see how good a curler he is. Good enough, says the linesman, as the play will continue. No icing. 5 minutes left. Winnipeg 2, Toronto no score. Picard's pass is intercepted. Now Salming with the puck. Great Swede turning with the puck. Having difficulty getting room to skate. Watched by LeCure. Picard's pass picked up by Derlego. In goes Hickey. Steered it to the corner. Derlego glides in after it there. Back to the point. Weak shot wound up in the corner. Robert goes to the puck. Try to put it in front. Salming couldn't get his stick on it. Derlego winds up. Passed it in front for Robert. He's well checked. His Spring did a good job going right to Robert. Took him off the puck. Tim Trimper for Winnipeg. Lost possession. Here comes Darryl Sittler. There's a penalty behind the play. Sittler with the puck. A delayed penalty coming up on Winnipeg. Paymont took a shot. Matson knocked it down. Another shot. They score! Juras scores for Toronto, but Juras put the puck in the net.
The play had been whistled dead, though.
No goal. The play had been whistled dead. We didn't hear the whistle. I wasn't quite sure.
I was watching the other puck that was thrown on the ice.
There will be no Toronto goal because Bob Myers had stopped the play and listened to the crowd reaction. Juras shot the puck in after the whistle. With the score, Winnipeg 2, Toronto nothing. This is Hockey Night in Canada.
Introducing the new Mercury Lynx 4-door liftgate wagon. Not only one of the most fuel-efficient wagons built in North America, Lynx is the first one with front-wheel drive for traction and 4-wheel independent suspension for smoothness, plus a roomy interior with 61 cubic feet of cargo space, advanced computer technology, a world-class car built in North America. Mercury Lynx.
And I see Darryl Sittler grabbing hold of that puck, crossing over his own blue line, and he's tripped from behind by Rick Bowness, who sits in the penalty box now, and you'll never get a better opportunity for the Leafs to try and get back in this hockey game. And the big part of it is the forechecking. Whenever the puck is in the corner, I'm sure the Leafs want to get 2 men in there. If the Jets have 2 men also, then they'll throw another man in there, but try to outnumber the opposition and come up with that puck.
The penalty to Bowness for tripping at 15:49 of this third period gives Toronto a man advantage. And of course they have a very potent power play. Number 27 Sittler, number 9 Maloney, number 99 Paymont up front, Turnbull number 2, Salming number 21. So long effective on the points for Toronto. LeCure wins the draw from Sittler. Long checked along the boards, but got loose and flipped the puck. It hit LeCure, and then he golfs it away up into the seats and out of play. And there's 9 seconds gone in Bowness's penalty.
The Jets defensively, they have really cleared the front of the net.
Now here's Brian McFarland.
The New York Islanders ran into some tough opposition in Quebec tonight, and they lost the hockey game 5-1. Mark Tardif had 3 goals there, and we'll be along with the NHL tonight right after the game with all the scores and results.
Hey, they got Mark Tardif turned on tonight with a hat trick in Quebec. Turnbull. Try to center the puck, it hit long. It's centered by Maloney. It bounces loose. Being brought up by LeCure. On his left, number 20 is Lindstrom. LeCure, taking his time, took the shot serious, turned it aside. The Leafs with a man advantage. Maloney to Sittler. A little too far ahead. He goes to the puck. Dan Maloney coming in on goal. Plays it back to the line. Salming's weak pass intercepted. A very quick play by Lindstrom. A good play to get that puck out in a hurry.
1 or 2 too many passes. Get some shots.
Turnbull with the puck. Sittler going to the front of the net. There he is. Couldn't get the shot. Ron Wilson for Winnipeg. Watched by Salming and Turnbull. He'll take his time. He falls. But Lukowicz goes over to help out. Now Wilson and Lukowicz coming in on goal. A backhander went wide. The score is 2-0 for Winnipeg. There's 3 minutes and 5 seconds left. Toronto with a man advantage. Sittler shooting the puck in. There's 50 seconds left in the Leaf power play. David Babbage falls. The puck went loose. Lukowicz goes in to pick it up. Failed to get it out. Parrish to Picard. He couldn't keep it onside, and the crowd jumps on Robert Picard. Robert with the puck. His pass intercepted. Lukowicz will represent the Jets in the All-Star game. Cleared it out as it went off the linesman, and it Flaherty. Picard took a dive. Checked by Lukowicz. There'll be no penalty. The crowd react. Give him about an 8.2 on that one. Another extra puck has been thrown on the ice. There are 2 pucks on the ice, but the play continues. They'll use that one they're working at right now. Now it's cleared out by Willie Lindstrom. There's a second puck lying on the ice in the Toronto zone. And they're almost together. Now the penalty over. You saw Bowness come out of the penalty box. Winnipeg successful in killing the late penalty. Hickey racing after the puck. Leg taps it away from it. Bowness didn't get it out. Picard scooped it in. Hickey centering it. Bill DeLego backhands a pass. It's blocked. Nice play by Don Spring, and that kid's been there all night. Bowness missing Picard. Bowness back in the Toronto goal. Still working for the puck. 1 minute and 40 seconds left. Trimper with the puck. Knocked off a stick by Hickey. The Jets 2, the Leafs no score. And there's a unique play. Jeffrey Ahn played the puck with the knob end of his stick as he was coming off the bench. But the linesman stopped the play as he thought the Jets had too many men on the ice, and that's going to be the call.
Yep. Caught it right away because Jeffrey Ahn had jumped on there and made contact before the man replaced him.
Watch how he plays the puck. That's a new one. The blade. Now switch it over and we'll do it right.
I mean, it's too easy using the proper blade. Why not turn it over and handle it that way? Well, the Leafs get another chance. They're running out of time, though. Only 1:32. But always looking for that perfect pass. On a few occasions, they've had a chance to shoot that puck on the net and go for that possible rebound, but they've elected to make that extra pass. And then there's always a chance of it going astray or the Jets intercepting or making contact with that player, which has been the case most of the night. You have to give the Jets credit. They've done a pretty good job of checking, and outstanding goaltending by Matson.
Of course, here with 1 minute and 32 seconds left, they're shorthanded. They can ice the puck. That's the only advantage in this situation, but that is an advantage perhaps in the last minute. Gary, don't you think when your team is shorthanded, you're not going to get called for a face-off back in your own zone? You can shoot that puck out every chance you get.
But since they've taken that 2-goal lead, the Jets have been very conservative, just dumping it out. Have not really tried to carry it out of their own zone, lest it be intercepted.
This is Toronto's 4th power play opportunity tonight. 0 for 3 earlier. Winnipeg's had 8 minor penalties, but there have been some coincidental penalties in this game. Winnipeg's power play has been 0 for 3. Turnbull shoots the puck in. Matson golfs it around on the glass. Dan Maloney pinned on the boards, fighting for the puck. It's put around to the opposite side. Big Dave Babbage going after it. Didn't get it out. Salming's pass hit Babbage. Puck went loose. Christian and Salming go after it. Sittler controlling. There's a minute to go. 1 minute left in the game. Sittler controlling the puck. The Leafs haven't got their goaltender out, but they have a man advantage. Maloney steered it back to Sittler on the boards. 50 seconds left. Crowd yelling for a shot. Sittler plays it across for Turnbull. It went off his stick. He recovers. 40 seconds left. 2-0 Winnipeg. Turnbull cutting in on goal. Centering the puck. Oh, Paymont missed it. And this is Lukowicz for Winnipeg. Lukowicz shoots. Sura had trouble with it but stopped it. Throws it aside. 23 seconds left. 2-0 Winnipeg. Maloney checked neatly at the line. A big play by Barry Lake. Dave Christian will take his time with the puck, putting on moves. And he almost fooled Sura with a quick wrist shot. There's 8 seconds to go. 6 seconds to go. Count out the seconds. Looks like Matson's going to get his first shutout of the season. The bell rings and the game is over. There's the shutout and a victory for the Jets.
And the Jets, 2 wins on the road this year, and both against the Maple Leafs. A tough loss to the Leafs because 6 of their next 7 are on the road. There's the congratulations, but their defense and goaltender, well as the forwards coming back, doing a tremendous job of checking. A well-earned shutout.
An excellent performance by the Winnipeg Jets, their 6th victory of a long season for them. A great bit of goaltending by Marcus Matson. His sidekick Pierre Hamel joins in the victory celebration. And of course, the Jets won 8-2 at Maple Leaf Gardens. Their last time in here this season, so are 2 for 2 in Toronto this season. Marcus Matson, take off the mask there, fella. We'll see what this handsome Finn looks like, and look at the big smile. In just a moment, our Molson Cup 3-star selection.
We want to make you smile.
Mr. Simmons called and said, see you at 4:30 about the contract.
Good thing it's right across the street.
We're going to make you smile.
Holiday Inn hotels are near where you need to be.
Right on time.
And that can be important.
You got it.
Is my smile that big?
Come to Holiday Inn where your smile says we're #1 and people pleasing.
It's been one very good year since we launched Beaumark Appliances.
Happy birthday, Beaumark.
Here's to you, Beaumark.
Happy anniversary, Beaumark.
Beaumark, it's been a good year.
Fred, stop mumbling and take out the garbage.
I'm doing the dishes.
Beaumark. Clearly a smash hit. Available throughout Canada at the Bay and Simpson.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are tonight's Molson Cup 3 stars, as selected by Hockey Night in Canada. The first star, Marcus Matson. The second star, Dave Babbage. And the third star, Wilf Paymont.
Well, the Jets come into this season, they're second in the NHL with a horrible record against the Leafs, and they've lost twice to the Leafs this season in Winnipeg. But something about Maple Leaf Gardens has brought out the best in the Jets this season, the 8-2 victory just prior to the advent of coach Mike Nicolak, and now a 2-0 victory. Featured sparkling goaltending by Marcus Matson of the Jets. He made 38 saves as the Leafs outshot Winnipeg 38-30. The first goal, which stood as the winner, by Doug LeCure at 8:24 of the first period from Rick Bowness and Tim Trimper. And then the goal in the third period that gave Winnipeg some insurance by Normand Dupont, his 19th of the year, from Willie Lindstrom. Winnipeg 2 and the Leafs nothing. The Jets' 6th victory of the season. And here is the first star, and there probably hasn't been a more unanimous choice as first star all season long at Maple Leaf Gardens, the Jets goaltender Marcus Matson. You had a couple of shutouts last season, I know, and last season was a better one for the Jets and for you than this season, but right now this has to be the most satisfying game you played in the NHL.
Oh yes, it's early in the season I had a little slow start, and I was benched for 2 months, and lately, last 10 games, we've been rotating, and I've been getting more ice time. I feel pretty good right now.
Now, you did not play any of the previous 3 games against the Leafs. It was Lindsay Middlebrook the first time, and the last 2 times Pierre Hamel. You hadn't faced them, they hadn't faced you. Did you have an advantage, do you think?
Well, it's the first game I ever played in Maple Leaf Gardens, and I was a little bit worried how it's going to end. And last year we got beaten real badly here, but I like the rink right now.
You say worried. I tend to think that you may have been a little bit excited about this game too, and we're ready for it from that standpoint.
Oh yeah, and Hockey Night in Canada, that's just a little bit.
We like to think it adds a little bit too. How about the Jets' problems in trying to remain enthusiastic with only 5 victories coming into tonight? It didn't show out there tonight. I mean, you looked ready to play this game, and I guess it's been that way against Boston. Almost got a tie there. So things really aren't as bad as they might be when you look at the standings.
Well, we got a very young team, and we don't give up. We keep fighting. We're a little bit unexperienced. Like, we got the bad penalty at the end there, 2 minutes to go, too many men on the ice. And like last night in Boston, they got the winning goal, 50 seconds to go. That's the way it's been going all season. But like I think last 10 games, we've been improving a lot.
Was there one save you can remember out of the 38 that you made tonight that you felt was the best or was the most important?
Well, it was so close all the time that I just had to. Maybe the first period, that breakaway save, that was pretty good.
The Canada Cup is going to be played in September. Are you thinking about that in terms of representing your native country of Finland?
Well, of course, if I make the team there, I want to play for Finland, but it's up to Finnish guys there.
Well, when they get the news of what you did tonight, they might consider you strongly for the goaltending assignment. Congratulations on a marvelous effort. We enjoyed watching it.
Thank you.
First star of the game, the Jets goalkeeper Marcus Matson, as Winnipeg wins it by a score of 2-0. The NHL tonight follows. Stay tuned for that. We'll return with Hockey Night in Canada in just a moment.
Canadian Tire will do that tune-up just right at a price that's right, too. We have highly qualified mechanics working with the latest diagnostic equipment and quality parts for original performance. Best of all, our guarantee is good at over 300 Canadian Tire service centers across Canada.
We can do it. It's for people like you. Canadian Tire.
Now, live from Toronto, the NHL Tonight, featuring the scores, stories, and stars from tonight's NHL games. Your host, Brian McFarland.
Well, thank you, Dick. And you heard Marcus Matson say the Jets are a young team. They're getting better, and they certainly looked to be getting better here at Maple Leaf Gardens tonight. They won 8-2 last time they were here, and they won 2-0 tonight as LeCure and Dupont scored the Winnipeg Jets goals. 2-0 the final, and the Leafs are now 4-4-4 under Mike Nicolak. In other action, it was Quebec 5, the Islanders won, as the first place Islanders dropped one to Mark Tardif and the Nordiques tonight. Tardif with 3 goals. Hunter and Bernier got the other goals for Quebec, and it was 5-1 Nordiques. A final just in, Chicago came back. Goal by Ricky Savard in the last few seconds made it 3-3 against Calgary. Lysiak, Marks, and Savard for the Blackhawks. Radicalio, McMillan, and Chouinard for the Flames. 3-3 final. Montreal playing at Los Angeles tonight. No score in from that one yet. They're just getting underway. Buffalo defeated Hartford tonight 5-3. As Savard had a pair of goals for the Sabres. McKegney, Craig Ramsey, and Gare did the other damage. Miller and Rogers and Rowe scored for the Whalers. In the third period, Pittsburgh leading Washington 3-2 with a few minutes to play. Shepard, Lee, and Libet for Pittsburgh. Smith and Ribble for the Caps. Philadelphia leading St. Louis 1-0. They're in the second period now as Gorence has the only goal to this point in the hockey match. And the Rangers are leading Minnesota 5-1. They're in the second period. Talafas, Don Maloney, Nilsson with a pair of goals, and Duguay with the other one. Eves has replied for the North Stars. Well, now let's go back to Dave Hodge with more on the Toronto-Winnipeg game and a look at Rennie Robert.
Well, Rennie left Denver this morning, got to Toronto this afternoon, get into a Leaf uniform tonight, and let's have your reaction to all that has happened.
Well, it was a long day to start with, but I'm really glad to be part of the Leafs organization. It was tough in Denver. Now that Cherry's gone, it was awfully tough for me to play there after what I said last year, but that's the way it goes in life, and I spoke my mind, and here I am in Toronto.
You were referring to the fact that you disagreed with the decision to
Well,
let him go.
I did disagree that I thought it was a bad mistake at the time, and I said that at that time I wanted to be traded, and I guess they carried on, and they waited for me to come back from my surgery at training camp and get rid of me.
You had the feeling, as Don Cherry has told us, that because of your views toward him, that that was all there was to it. They had to remove you no matter what you did on the ice?
Well, I knew, once I told Mr. Miron that I didn't want to play there, that after they fired Don, that I knew it was just a matter of time until he made a move for me. First of all, I didn't think I fit into Billy McMillan's system of carrying the puck, which we were used to in Buffalo, and which I was doing last year with Cherry, and that had a lot to do with it too, but it didn't hurt my feelings by coming to Toronto.
Well, this is where you started in the NHL way back when. We don't want to make it seem like it was that long ago, but it was 1970-71, and the record books say you played 5 games. What do you recall about that time?
Well, I was playing junior, and we didn't make the playoffs, and Punch called me up and asked me if I wanted to try out with the Leafs. And in the meantime, I think he got fired, and I ended up in Tulsa. And we won the championship the year after, and wherever Punch went, I think it was Buffalo, I got picked up by Pittsburgh. And he came and got me out of Pittsburgh, and here I am again with Punch.
Well, let's say if Don Cherry had something to do with getting you here, certainly Punch Imlach did too. The association is a long one, and I assume you cherish it.
Yeah, well, Punch has always been fair to me. I always enjoyed playing for Punch, even when I was down in the minors. I thought at the time I should have had a shot with the Leafs, but I was only 18 years old, so it didn't really bother me. I had a long time to make it, and I knew sooner or later that Punch would give me another chance, which he did in Buffalo, and it turned out to be a good one for me because I ended up playing with Pro and Martin. And then I went to Colorado with Grapes, and unfortunately he got fired. But who knows, maybe someday he'll be back somewhere.
Now, it seemed as though every Leaf had a chance. I assume you can remember one that might have got past Marcus Madsen tonight. He really played well, didn't he?
He certainly did. He's played as well as I've seen any goalie play. But it seems that every time you go play somewhere, you play your first game for a team. I thought we played extremely well as a team, and we should have got a little better treatment than what we got, but it's part of the hockey game. Sooner or later, someone on the road, it's going to even up.
Hasn't been that long, and I don't know that you've had any plans given to you from Mike Nicolak or Punch, but where do you see yourself fitting into this team?
Well, I don't know. I got the news last night at 1:45, which was 4:45 in Toronto, and Punch wanted me for the game here tonight. I didn't have that much time to get myself ready, and I was delayed out of Denver. They had a snowstorm, and I didn't get here till 5:45 tonight. My equipment didn't come in time, so I had to borrow some equipment, no sticks, and my stick came in the second period. And but I told Punch I'd be here, and we didn't really have time to talk or where I'm going to be playing, what my position is going to be with the hockey club, but it's just a matter of time until they find a spot for me.
Well, we know he is a right winger from Buffalo, but you played some center in Colorado. Do you have a preference?
No, as long as I play and can help the hockey club, that's all that matters.
Okay, I'm sure that's all anybody else is thinking too. Leaf management, the other players, and the fans. Glad to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Rennie Robert back with the Leafs after, what, a 10-year absence. Now let's get back to Brian after an absence of about 3 minutes.
Thank you, David, and you'll get lots of ice time with the Toronto Maple Leafs, I'm sure, Rennie Robert. Well, the first-place club lost tonight. The Islanders did to Quebec. The last-place team, Winnipeg, were winners here at Maple Leaf Gardens. So let's take a look at the overall standings as they stand at the moment. We're still waiting for 4 final scores tonight, but the Islanders remain on top with 74. Then the Blues, the Kings playing the Montreal Canadiens on the coast tonight. No word on that one yet. Philadelphia, Buffalo picked up 2 points tonight. Minnesota, losers tonight, in Montreal, as we say, we're waiting to hear from. So those are the first 7 clubs. Then Vancouver and Calgary with 55, Boston with 52, Chicago 49 points, Washington with 47. The Rangers, who are winners tonight, no, not winners, they're leading 5-1 at the end of the hockey game over Minnesota. So the Rangers are in there, and Toronto, losers to the Jets tonight. And there we have the Vancouver Canucks with 55, along with Calgary, who worked out a tie with Chicago tonight. Boston, Chicago, Washington, the New York Rangers, and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Hartford, Pittsburgh, Colorado, Edmonton, Detroit, Quebec, and Winnipeg. And the Jets, we mentioned before, looking a lot better, and they must love those road trips when they come to Toronto, because they won here 8-2 last time, and they won 2-0 tonight. Now, the scoring race, the individual scoring race, we see Marcel Dionne and Wayne Gretzky right about where they were last year at this time. 93 points for Dionne, Gretzky with 91. Charlie Simmer of the Kings has 90. Mike Bossy, who got all the attention after his 50 goals in 50 games, has 87 points. Dave Taylor with 82, and of course those fellas are off to the All-Star game on the 10th in Los Angeles. Now, back to Dave Hodge with Don Cherry.
Okay, we saw a short reunion, Don Cherry and Rennie Robert, as he left the studio. We've heard your comments about that. Let's dig into the game a little bit, and I'd like to talk about the 2 teams. First of all, Winnipeg, in relation to your experience at Colorado. The Jets aren't going to make the playoffs. I don't know if John Ferguson's listening, but any argument he put up I don't think would be as strong as the ones he used to mount on the ice. It appears they're out of it, yet they come in and play a game like this. How did you go about it last year, realizing that the task was a nearly impossible one?
Well, first of all, before we get into that, I'd like to say everybody in Alberta, no more letters about Gretzky, okay? We all know he's a great hockey player. Nobody check him, but please, no more letters from Alberta on Gretzky on that little thing I had to say out there. But during the team, they're professionals, they're pride. Besides, there's a lot of guys up for contracts, and nobody likes to end in the cellar, I know. I went last year from a first-place club to the cellar, and it looks like they're going to end up in the cellar, but he must have, Billy Sullivan's got them going. He's telling them, let's get ready for next year, let's get going. And he's got a very young club. He comes up with a good goalie like that. Everybody likes to be happy. And if you don't win, you're not happy, and that's the big thing. Keep them happy.
Okay, the other side of the coin, not to say that the Leafs are the Boston Bruins of your era, not even close the way they look in the standings now, but they've always had a tendency to play a more lackadaisical brand of hockey against the teams below them than above them. What do you do to a team like that to say, here's the Winnipeg Jets, 5 wins, they're coming in here, you got to get ready? How do you get them ready?
That's a bad habit to get in. You look at Philly, they just eat those teams. I'm telling you, just for dinner. And Boston used to do the same thing, because what happens is you lose to a team like this playing, you know, it was a good hockey game tonight, let's face it, but still they didn't win. You lose to a game like Winnipeg, then you come up and you play the Islanders and you play a terrific game, but you don't have enough talent. So you lose both ways. You'd be better off if you didn't play good against the top teams and eat the bottom teams. And it's a tough situation, and they've got to get going. And like they got 38 shots tonight, but when things go wrong, things go wrong. And there's 6 of them there. They better make the playoffs now.
They went on a bit of a tear, we might say, with Nicolak as soon as he joined the team as coach. Lately, a bit of a tailspin. They haven't won in the last 4. Was that predictable, do you think, the immediate high when the coaches changed and now maybe back to a little more normal?
Well, you remember what I said about 6 to 8 games when you make remember Detroit, same thing. It goes 6 to 8 games, but it's tough when you make a new coach. Everybody's up going, and all of a sudden you lose one. down a little more, down a little more. It usually happens like that, but I don't think this, and I'm going to be personal, I think that the way Ellis got released, I don't think that it helped the morale of the team, but those guys got to forget that. It's got to be like in the Army. When a guy gets shot beside you in the trench, forget about it. Glad it wasn't you. And I don't think that Ellis situation helped it, though.
Well, the treatment is one thing. Do you feel, some do, that Ellis should still be on the team and could make a contribution?
Well, he can kill penalties, and he's a class guy. And like I said, they had some young guys I know they used to talk to him and everything like that. And he was, I remember when he broke in, he was always, for 16 years, I guess it is, he's a class guy. It's a tough way to go out. And I think it hurts some of the young guys. Now they say if it can happen to him. I know, I think Nikolak said something about he was staying, then he goes. And it hurts your way the players feel about you. But I think they've got to forget that. He's gone. He's a nice guy. Play for yourselves and get going and make the playoffs.
Okay, Bossy and Simmer, we talked about it leading up to the actual moment where Mike Bossy scored his 50th and Charlie Simmer came very close. And since then, there's been a lot of talk about how much the record should mean, what it means in comparison to what Richard did. Now that we know it's been done, speaking of Bossy, your thoughts on how excited everybody should be or how critical they might be of what the accomplishment means?
Well, you know, 50 goals, 50 games, I think it's super. There's a lot of pressure on you. I remember Jeffrey On was after it and everybody like that, and you build your own pressure. And he's a very sensitive guy, and I think it bothered him, all that attention and everything, because he likes to sit back. I remember in Team Showdown, he's a very shy guy, and now I heard somebody asking him, now he wants 76. I thought he was going to drop right off the chair. But it's quite an accomplishment. It's a great accomplishment. But I don't think he's going to beat, I said he would get to 50, but I don't think he's going to beat Phil.
Could this, in the long run for the Islanders, means the Stanley Cup final? I think they're hoping to be there, and a lot of people will assume that they'll make it that far. Anyway, could it hurt him going through all of this in the middle of the season and perhaps even more at the end of the season, suddenly to get right back up? Because this is an emotional drain on him.
Well, Al Arbor, he's been through it all. He come up through the ranks. He knows what's going on. A lot of guys would press him, hope he wins, but gets 70, 80 goals. But I know Al, he'll say, wait a minute, he can see. Let's lay back. Let's take it easy. We're getting ready. We're in first place now. Let's get into the playoffs. Let's go from there. Al's pretty sharp. He'll straighten it out.
All-star team selections, do you agree or disagree with what you've seen?
Well, I really admire Pat Quinn. I think he's got a lot of courage with Holmgren and Babbage sitting there with 36 goals. I like his style, but I think he opened himself to a lot of criticism.
What, you're not going to be one to criticize him?
No, I like his style.
Well, I sure will, and let's talk about it. Wayne Babbage has 36 goals. Dion, Bossy, and Simmer are the only ones with more. The guys, the team is in second place, the St. Louis Blues, and you pick Paul Holmgren ahead of Wayne Babbage?
Well, I got to admit, I don't know. I don't know what Pat's thinking of, and maybe he wants a defensive player or something like that.
A lot of those are picked for All-Star games.
No, I know you're right. Babbage must be blowing his brains out when he sees that, and I imagine Emile Francis is going to have something to say about it, but what are you going to do? Pat did it, and I guess he wants to win the game or something. I hope maybe he thinks there's going to be some fights or something. I don't know, but Babbage should have been. You're right.
Okay, now, if you're Scotty Bowman, do you pick Guy Lafleur or don't you?
Yes, sir. I say pick Guy Lafleur. I read in the paper where he feels that he shouldn't be or uneasy. You have to have a guy like that. It was like Ted Williams didn't have a good year one year. You have to have Guy Lafleur. What could be an all-star? Sure, he was hurt. You saw that goal he got in Calgary. There's not too many guys in the league going to do that. You don't have Guy Lafleur. He deserves to be there in his past performance, and he's still the best hockey player in the world for my money.
The defense voting was interesting. Mark Howe outvoted Larry Robinson.
Well, I don't go with that. I like Mark Howe. He's all right. I don't understand that. Larry Robinson, to me, is the best defenseman in the league. I know he's having a little trouble right now, but who would you rather have in your club?
Well, yeah, I got to admit at this point.
Absolutely.
Robinson. Howe's a little younger, though.
I don't understand those votes. Where do those guys live, in Mars?
The hockey writers.
Yeah, well, I can't knock them. They like that.
All right. You were for Pat Quinn, you're against Pat Quinn?
No, I like Pat Quinn's style. I'd probably done the same thing.
You would.
But that's not saying just because I do it'd be right.
Unless you had a chance to talk to me and I talked you out of it.
All right. Well, he didn't talk me out of it. I just like Pat Quinn's style.
All right. We like yours, and now let's go to Brian.
I don't know whether you're keeping score, but I think Dave won one of his arguments and Don won one of his, and there was one that we'd call even. I have a couple of updates coming in. Taylor has scored for LA. They lead Montreal 1-0. A 4-4 tie. That's a final now between Washington and Pittsburgh. Philadelphia now leading St. Louis 2-1. Sutter for the Blues, Gorence and Holmgren for the Flyers. And New York Rangers now leading Minnesota 6-2. We'll take a quick look at the Molson Cup standings around the Canadian cities, and we'll start with Montreal. They're talking about Robinson, but look at Langway. He's had a tremendous season up there with 50 points. He's the leader. Robinson, Acton, Lafleur, and Risebrough. And yes, indeed, Lafleur should be in the All-Star game. In Toronto, Borja Salming and Rick Vive with 40, then Darryl Sittler, Laurie Boschman, and Yuri Sira follow in that order. And moving on to Winnipeg, where rookie Dave Babbage, who played a fine game in Toronto tonight, the leader with 50, then the rest follow. Hamel Smale, who's out of action with that second jaw fracture, Lindstrom and Christian. In Edmonton, of course, Wayne Gretzky. Look at the lead there, 95 points. Siltonen with 30, along with Eddie Meal, the goaltender, Ron Lowe, and Glenn Anderson. In Calgary, it's Kent Nielsen on top with Rajan Lemelin, the goaltender, with 45, then Lever, Plett, and Poplinski. And moving on to Vancouver now, Richard Brodeur, the goaltender, with a big lead, 70 points. Dave Williams, Stan Smeal, Kevin McCarthy, Per-Olof Brosser follow for the Vancouver Canucks. If they're still up there and they haven't been locked in the gondola, let's go upstairs to Jim and Gary.
Well, Brian, we have not been locked in the gondola. We're right here talking hockey after a 2-0 Winnipeg victory over the Maple Leafs. A shutout for Marcus Matson. Quite a performance by a young Winnipeg team.
Well, not only Matson, but I thought that the Jet defenseman did an outstanding job. I mean, there's two ways of checking a man. You can stick check him and not make contact and be made a fool of, or you can take the man right out of the play. And the Jets did more of the latter. I mean, they took the Leafs right in the corner. They pinned them. They didn't let them get him back in the play. And I think perhaps if the Leafs would have mustered a few more shots, you saw in that third period where they were trying to just make that extra pass, and consequently, time and time again, it was broken up. But you got to give the Jets credit. They certainly earned the win because the Leafs had a pretty good game themselves.
Well, there were two shots that went in the hockey game, the two Winnipeg goals. Let's take a look at them. The first one by Doug LeCure at 8:24 of the first period.
Well, I'm sure, Jim, that once Nicolak gets everything organized the way he wants defensively, you notice that LeCure is in the slot area. Now, that's a position that usually the left winger or the defenseman has to take care of. Everybody was watching the puck in the corner and failed to see the man there instead of looking around. But once Nicolak gets the time, yeah, I'm sure that he'll make that adjustment.
Now DuPont's goal, great individual effort.
Well, not only was it a great individual effort by DuPont, but he got help from one of his teammates who interfered with Picard there. That allowed DuPont just to get in there and grab hold of it. It was Wilson that did the interfering. But you notice that DuPont, he just waits. I mean, that's confidence and knowing what you're going to do and having the ability to do it. He just waited till Sira went down and then tucked it in the top corner. But two individual plays and a good win for the Jets.
Well, Toronto did put the puck in the net tonight, but it was after a whistle.
Well, it was during a delayed penalty. There's the penalty to Sittler. And then the Leafs, they did have possession, gain control in the zone, and make some good passes. We'll have to see which Jet does get possession of the puck. And it happened right in front of the net. The whistle had gone. Bob Myers called the play dead, and that resulted in the stoppage of play. But Matson, he was tough.
Well, he couldn't see that one, and that was Juris who shot the puck in the net, but it didn't count. As Matson has his shutout, there's only been 23 shutouts in the NHL this season. We thought we'd see a lot of goals tonight.
I thought so too, because that's the way things have been going. Of course, talking to the coaches this morning, Sutherland said, we're trying as hard as we can, but something always seems to happen to us in the third period, and I think we were kind of expecting that tonight, Jim, that the dam was going to open up and a lot of goals were scored, but it didn't.
No, it didn't. Marcus Matson and his fine young defense held out the Leafs, so the Jets get a 2-0 victory at Maple Leaf Gardens. And now here's Brian McFarland.
Well, thank you, Jim, and I have Dave Hodge with me for the final minute or so. And David, with time running out on some clubs, certain teams are making a rush at the playoffs. Have you got some that you think are really going to make that concerted effort now?
Not really near the playoff borderline, but quite a bit above it. Checking your scores and see that Buffalo has won again. That's 5 in a row without a loss for the Sabres, who had some problems earlier in the season trying to adjust to Roger Nielsen, we were told. Now with Perreault out, Richard Martin hasn't played very much. Gare missed a couple of games. The Sabres really seem to be a team in transition with youngsters starting to come and contribute. It appears that Buffalo is a team to watch in the second half of the season. The Rangers with a big lead on Minnesota, I think that would make it 4 in a row without a loss for them. And seems that the Rangers are back to where they should be. And Detroit is a team that has caught my eye recently with the young goaltender Lozinski. They were in here and played a pretty good game against the Leafs a week ago. And the Leafs have to play them early next week as the Leafs start on a long road trip. So those are three you might watch.
I'm glad that they picked Grodnik. I think he's having a great year. And then Chicago fought back to get a point in Calgary tonight, and Keith Magnuson seems to have that club on the move.
Well, Tony Esposito, remember when they were in here, we saw Bannerman play, and he played rather well. The Leafs didn't put up a whole lot of opposition that night. They were in their doldrums then, and might be afraid of going back into them the way things have gone lately. But the Hawks really started to move when Tony Esposito started to play every night as he is accustomed, and it appeared that Esposito's attitude and the attitude of the whole team improved about that time. He's obviously the guy who has to lead them wherever they're going.
And again, we have to give full marks to the Winnipeg Jets tonight, coming in here for the second time. They won easily 8-2, and you recall Smale having a big night that night. They really missed that kid, but you can see the improvement coming in the Winnipeg Jets.
Well, I think that they will be particularly happy, and Marcus Matson noticed it, I'm sure they all did, that this was a game that went coast to coast on Hockey Night in Canada, Winnipeg at Toronto. There might have been some people who said, wait a minute, we've seen better attractions than that, but the Jets determined that at least in Winnipeg they would make it the best this season.
Had a big night here, and next week it'll be Boston at Montreal. That's the big game on Hockey Night in Canada. The Boston Bruins, Montreal Canadiens at the Forum. So long, everybody, from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
This program is protected by copyright and is intended solely for the entertainment and enjoyment of the viewing audience. Reproduction by any means, in whole or in part, without the expressed written permission of Hockey Night in Canada is prohibited.
This is CBC.
There is life in our Arctic, and David Adlakiak of Bell Canada is making it a better life. David travels thousands of kilometers helping Bell explain its latest technology to the people living in this harsh environment, so they can talk more easily with each other and the world. It's tough adapting ideas and equipment to fit the Arctic, and we're proud of our role. It's time we started feeling good about things we do well.